The Game.
A Cromwell media station.
Now let's see if we can bring them to life, all right?
Bringing you entertainment and informative sports talk during your workday.
Smart, funny, classy, and I like him a lot.
This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase with Chase McCabe, Willy Donick.
Mason, touchdown, Tennessee.
And former NFL wide receiver Derek Mason on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
This is a new level of geek you got going on here.
Good Thursday, everybody. Welcome in. Chase, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. We are streaming on the Game Nashville app. You can also watch us live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook Live. How you doing? Presented by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason, Nick Keyser, intern Connor, Michelle's still hanging around.
Everybody's
as well. Here. Willie's in Prague. Aaron Donick's in Prague.
Man.
Saw that on the socials.
Now that's love.
That is love.
That's love. That is love.
There's always the pre-show conversation. The pre-show conversation had to do with love.
Love is just a facade.
Love is a facade.
Unless you're Aaron and Willie.
Yeah, see, that's love,
different.
But, you and I we don't have love.
No love, man.
No love.
No love. No love for my kids, yes.
No love for Chase and Mace.
Yeah.
No love for Chase and Mace.
Ain't got no love for Chase and Mace. And Michelle's back there throwing up heart sign.
Yeah, I mean, Michelle's good look.
She has her love, so she can throw
love.
up the heart sign. It's like, oh.
She's got love. Her love brings her coffee.
Exactly.
Every day.
Seriously, man.
Opens the
she
door
just rubbing it in our face.
Every day.
Man, she just rubbing it in our face. That's all.
It's all right. She's all bubbly.
Exactly. Wake up in the morning to a kiss or something.
Yeah.
Butterflies, all that. You can hear the birds chirping outside their window. I mean, come on. Seriously, Michelle?
No.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, that's not really where we were going to start today.
But sometimes it happens.
It naturally happens sometimes. Yeah. But we do have a great show planned. Tomorrow's going to be a little different. You'll be on with Jared from 10 to 12. And so that will kind of alter things a little bit. So we're moving some of our Friday stuff today. We'll do Ask D-Mase at 1:15. Still waiting to confirm this, but I believe the plan, Eddie George is going to join us today in the 1 o'clock hour. We'll check in with Willy from Prague. He's got an interview with a player. And then Silly Underdog Picks coming up at noon today. So a stacked Impact show, but
we're ready.
I wanted to start with this, and there's a couple of different layers. Something that I don't think we've spent enough time on. The end of the first half against in the game on Sunday against the Colts, there was a lot of miscommunication where the Titans are trying to line up and get the field goal team out, and they ultimately run out of time and can't do it. And my question is, in that moment when you're trying to get the clock stopped, you don't have any timeouts, who is at fault on the game management here? Is it Ryan Tannehill as the quarterback, or is it Mike Vrabel as head coach?
It's both.
Or is it both?
It's both, because this is, and I'm not saying that it wasn't discussed prior. This is something that is supposed to be relayed to the quarterback through his headsets. Hey, listen, this is the play. It's it was 19 seconds, 14 seconds, somewhere around there. No timeout. Listen, we're calling this play. If it's not there, throw it in the stands. Just throw it away, because we cannot, and I repeat, we cannot afford to get tackled in the middle of the field. We cannot afford to take a sack and lose all ability to kick a field goal. That's what I'm used to. And then the quarterback comes out and say, listen, if you catch the ball, get out of bounds or get down, get back up to the line of scrimmage. We got to go. Or just catch it and get off the field, because the field goal team is running on. Everybody understands this. Break. Go up to the line of scrimmage. Run the play. If it's not there, a ball to the outside, you dirt it, you throw it away, and you get your tail off the field. Or if you get it in bounds, throw it quickly, boom, get down, everybody race off the field, get a ball to the ref, race off the field, field goal team come on, bam, kick the field goal. But that's not what happened. The quarterback, whatever play that was called, it wasn't there. And the quarterback decides to run for it. Run for a first down. I don't know why he's going to run for the first down because, this is not college football where you run for a first down and the clock stops when you get it. And they reset it once they get it going. Once they reset the ball, it's not college football. In the NFL, don't matter if you get the first down. The clock is still running if you're in bounds. So to me, that is on the quarterback because he should have known that if nobody's there, throw it away. So one is on the quarterback, and then two, the special teams coach needs to have, and the head coach, they need to have their team ready to go. It looked like a cluster out there. You know, you see Vrabel sort of kind of looking up and sort of waving his arms around like, all right, let's go, let's go, let's go. They got several different names. Every team has a name for their hurry-up field goal unit. But you can see Vrabel sort of like he's looking at the clock and sort of, telling everybody to come on instead of just rushing everybody out there. They get out there. One guy trips over another. They get to the line of scrimmage. It's a penalty already.
Right.
It's a penalty already.
You've already screwed yourself up.
You already screwed yourself. Now you've negated yourself from getting 3 points. And that 3 points could have came back and bit them in the rear end. It could have.
Right.
But this is something that, and I don't know why it happens because they work on it all the time. Every NFL team works on this particular situation where it's 8 seconds left and the ball is down and we got to rush the field goal unit team on. Usually it takes about 4 to 5 seconds. That's why they say get a ball to the ref, let him allow him or her to spot it. Boom, y'all get out there, kick the field goal. It usually takes about 5 seconds. Well, when you got people tripping over each other and you got the head coach is sort of kind of telling everybody to come on. I don't know if the special teams coach has that unit ready to go, but it just looked like a cluster. It just looked like nobody knew exactly what they were doing. And this is not the first time something like this has happened to them at the end of the half. You know what happened to them when Phillips caught the deep ball? I think it was the first game. Phillips catches the deep ball out of bounds. Then they're forced to call a timeout. For what?
Right.
It's just these moments in games. It's sometimes it's the difference between winning a game and losing a game. And luckily for the Tennessee Titans, it didn't cost them the game this last against Indianapolis. I don't know if it cost them the game against the Giants, but they sure could have used that 3 points.
Yeah,
the field goal was missed. They could have used that 3 points. I'm not saying that cost them the game, but they could have used that 3 points.
I agree with you on that. Here was Mike Vrabel on Sunday when asked about what happened at the end of the first half.
What happened at the end of the first half there? It seemed like you may have been fleeting for, at least we would look at it and see.
Well, just looking at a quicker, we have to be able to handle that better and make sure that we're putting that ball in the dirt, just being in field goal range, and then, just trying to ask that there was a quick, fourth or first down. So, we'll have to look at all these situations that come up and make sure, that's one of them where you have to be great is, situational football.
Okay. Couple of things that I take away from that clip. One, we got to put the ball in the dirt. Who's that on?
Tannehill.
We got to be great. That goes back to we got to be great around him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and they weren't. Now, that's where I think he takes a little bit of the blame.
Yeah.
But he's looking at it as I got a veteran quarterback that has to have that clock in his head of knowing where we are at this situation, that we're in a good spot. We need to get 3 points out of this. He's got to throw the ball away, and he didn't do it. And I don't take that as Vrabel is sitting there, adamantly blaming Tannehill for that mistake, but he's basically saying, like, hey, I need a little bit more, out of him that he's got to think better in that situation because it cost us 3 points.
Yeah, he's gonna have to. Because when you practice these situations all the time, and you're supposed to be prepared for it. And then when you get it and it doesn't seem like you're prepared for it, that falls on first the head coach. And then in this particular situation, it falls on the quarterback because he didn't, do what a veteran quarterback is supposed to do in that situation. And then 3, the special teams coach. Why isn't the guys ready to go out there? Now, majority of the guys, the offensive line was out there. But why was the kicker and the holder not ready to go? Why was someone tripping over another guy? That should have been like, you should be able to do those things with your eyes closed. Because again, they work on those things a lot because they know those things can be the difference, like I said, between winning a game and losing a game. That's why you practice it as much as you do, at least a couple of times a week, where you practice the hurry-up field goal. Like what we used to do, we would just be running plays during practice, and all of a sudden, whether it be Fisher, Billick, or Harbaugh, they'll say, field goal unit, and everybody's got to rush. Everybody has to go and rush out there.
Yeah.
And the other guy's got to get off the field. He's not telling you what he's going to do. They're just doing it because they want to make sure that you're paying attention,
Right.
Because it may come up in a game just like that. Well, we got to hurry up and kick a field goal. Everybody needs to be aware of what's going on.
This was a quick clip at the end of or after the game. Tannehill was asked about it in the first half. This is what he said.
Oh, we got stopped short there, got into a situation where we run the field goal on, and I don't know exactly what happened there, but we weren't able to get it on in time.
There you go. That was his simple explanation. Now, that was right after the game. He's asked about it again yesterday. You'll hear from him coming up next because was this just simple miscommunication on everybody's part, or is this a growing issue that could affect the Titans as we go? We'll continue to discuss that. You can call us. Our text line currently down right now, 615-737-1025 if you'd like to call in, or you can tweet at us at 1025 The Game as you listen to Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 1025, 1063 The Game.
The Sports Talk doesn't end on Friday. Join Michelle Knezovic every Saturday morning at 9.
I've got my extra large coffee.
As she talks about the big stories of the week.
Predators news, the Tennessee Titans.
And looks ahead to the weekend.
Oh, I'm so excited.
On Nashville's best sports talk, 1025 and 1063 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey folks, Joe Rexrod here for FanDuel Sportsbook, inviting you to get in on the action with a no-sweat same-game parlay this week. The NFL, it does not matter if you're new to FanDuel or if you already have an account. You're going to get free bets back either way if the Thursday night same-game parlay doesn't hit. NFL same-game parlay, of course, is the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payday. You got Colts, Broncos, not exactly an offensive juggernaut game. I think I would go on the under on this one overall. Also, I think I'm going to take the points and go with the Colts. Definitely avoid Jonathan Taylor. He's out. I'm going to go under on the Russell Wilson passing yards. Now, of course, if this game ends up 34-31, you can blame me. Or do whatever you want with a same-game parlay, or you can also choose one from the popular pre-built same-game parlays. However you want to do it, bet with a no-sweat same-game parlay Thursday night. Sign up with promo code Joe102. If you don't have an account, if you do, you're all set. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. 3+ legs, minimum $1 bet required. Free fund issues not available. Free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet $5. Restrictions apply. To these terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 800-889-9789.
How are ya? From Brooklyn, New York, Andrew Dice Clay.
Jack and Jill went up the hill, both with $1.25. Jill came down with $2.50. Oh!
Coming January 29th to the Ryman. On sale this Friday at 10 a.m. Get your tickets online at Ryman.com and AXS.com. The Dice Man, live.
One of the best things to happen here over the last year is the arrival of QC Kinetics. Willy Donick here. QC Kinetics is helping people in our area get real lasting relief from their joint pain with the latest in regenerative medicine. No drugs, no downtime, no steroids, no surgery. In fact, QC Kinetics has tripled in size. Now with clinics in Nashville, Clarksville, and Murfreesboro, one near you. So if you have pain in your knees, hips, shoulder, back, whatever joint it is, don't think steroids and surgery are your only options. Regenerative medicine treatments at QC Kinetics use natural biologics, healing agents from your own body. It restores and repairs the damaged joint tissue. Pro athletes have been doing this for years, and now it's available to you and me. So many people here have done this and are raving about how they got their life back without that nagging daily pain. Appointments are available as soon as next week, and the consultation is free. So call QC Kinetics and learn how modern precision medicine can help you deal with the pain caused by arthritis or injury without drugs or surgery. QC Kinetics in Nashville, Clarksville, and Murfreesboro. 615-249-4024 for the consultation. That's 615-249-4024 for QC Kinetics.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Football and Fireball is a match made in heaven. And by heaven, of course, we mean Twin Peaks. Spice things up next game day with a shot of our favorite cinnamon whiskey. Twin Peaks in Cool Springs. Made from scratch food, signature 29-degree draft beers, and all the scenic views.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
We want to hear from you.
Thanks for taking the call.
Join the conversation. Call or text at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
I'm ready to step this up a notch.
You're listening to Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, 615-737-1025. Who's to blame with some of the clock management issues with the Titans? Is it Ryan Tannehill? Is it Mike Vrabel? Is it a combination of the two? You can call us right now. You can tweet us at 102.5 The Game because our text line is just acting up today there, D-Mase, and it happens sometimes. But you can weigh in that way. But this was Ryan Tannehill on not throwing the ball away. He was asked about it again yesterday. This was Ryan Tannehill not throwing the ball away at the end of the first half.
The evaluation then coming out of that is not that you should have just thrown that out of bounds instead of trying to run there?
Well, it's a tricky situation because it's 3rd and 1, you know. If it's 3rd and 7 or 8, then it makes it a little more clear. You know, you're not going to be able to run and get the first down there. Being 3rd and 1, you know, kind of had some quick pressure, was able to get up through the pocket in a muddy pocket. Thought I was going to be able to get it with my legs and just came up short.
Okay, so you hear that. I see the reaction on your face. You're a player. You know those situations. You've been in those situations. Why do you still believe he did wrong there?
I don't care if it's 3rd and 1, 3rd and inches, 3rd and 21. There's no timeouts left. So what does getting the first down, then you can get up there and spike it. But again, what if you don't get the first down?
Right. That's the only explanation I can give.
I understand them saying, okay, we can get the first down, get up there and spike it. But again, what if you don't get the first down? So because of your sort of selfishness, you cost your team 3 points. That's basically what you did. You thought you can do something, and you tried to do more than what you should have done as a quarterback. You get the first down, I get it. You can spike the ball. But if you don't get the first down, it's just like a guy, you know, say it's 3rd and 8, and there may be 30 seconds, 25 seconds left, or a little bit less than that. A wide receiver is taught, you catch the ball with that much time left on the clock, get out of bounds. We're not worried so much about getting the first down. We're just worried about getting out of bounds to stop the clock. So why is it different for the why does the running back or the receiver or the tight end has to do that, but the quarterback doesn't?
Right.
That's selfish. I understand you saying, oh, I think I can get it. But I think you may not get it as well. I think you may not get it. So throw the ball away and allow the punt team, meaning field goal team, to come on at their pace and kick the field goal. Again, your explanation basically said, I put what I wanted to do over the team's needs. Because, again, if this is a receiver and you throw the ball out to him and it's second and it's 3rd and 8 with X amount of seconds left on the game, you're telling him to get out of bounds. You're not saying, oh, get the first down, then get out. No, get out of bounds. We don't even want to chance you getting tackled in the field of play. So why is it any different for the quarterback? It's not. It shouldn't be. Yeah, it shouldn't be. You're being selfish. That's what it boils down to. And I'm not saying that Ryan Tannehill is a selfish person, but he was being selfish on that particular play. He should have thrown the ball away and allowed the field goal unit to come on and not have to rush. Vrabel was right. You dirted. You didn't hear Vrabel say, well, if he could have got the first down, then that would have been great. No, Vrabel said he should have dirted the ball. Throw it away. He's making an excuse, Tannehill.
Right. He's not taking
ownership of it. Just say, hey, listen, hey man, I should have dirted the ball. Next time I know. That's a situation that, as a leader of this team, I have to do better. But he didn't take responsibility after the Cincinnati game. He's not taking responsibility in this particular situation. And I just don't get it. You're the leader of this team. You expect everybody else to take, responsibility. If that would have happened to Derrick Henry or a receiver or a tight end, I guarantee you they would have said, I should have got out of bounds.
Right.
They wouldn't have said, oh, I thought I was going to get the first down and let that be. They would have said, I should have got out of bounds.
And so here, to play devil's advocate for a second, I understand in his head what he was trying to do.
I do too.
I get it. I totally get it. In his mind, I get the first down, then I can spike the ball and stop the clock. But at that point, and I've never played quarterback, but at that point, the play's dead. Like you have to accept that you're probably not going to get the first down.
Mm-hmm.
So throw the ball away, and then you stop the clock, and then you go for it right there. You don't have to worry about it anymore. So, and at that point, I would just say that, and this goes away. And you just say, hey, look, I thought it was there, it wasn't, threw it away, and we got the 3 points. But instead, you get taken down, you don't have enough time to stop the clock, and you miss the opportunity to get the 3 points.
You know what I think it is sometimes, people get this way, and I think players do too, but I think everybody in general, whatever, profession you're in or whatnot, when things happen at your job or on a football field, basketball court, ice, arena, whatever. If something happens and people start to blame you, like for every little thing that is happening, you need to be better. The team needs to be better around you because you're not equipped to lead a team. And all this stuff is always swirling around you. You become defensive with every little thing.
Right.
He got defensive with the whole, Cincinnati thing, because it was piling on him. And as humans, that's how we are sometimes. And this is another example.
I'm going to get into that.
Him being defensive because he feels like, all of this isn't my fault. He can't point at the special teams coach. He can't point at the head coach. Only thing he can do is be defensive instead of saying, listen, I should have just dirted it. My bad.
Right.
You know,
I messed up.
I thought I was going to, but I wasn't able. I should have dirted it.
And the thing is, Vrabel clock management isn't always his strong suit.
Exactly.
So he messed up. Everybody on the sideline messed up, and the quarterback messed up. It was a team thing. You know, these coaches and players want to talk about, you know, live and die as a team. Okay, well, that's a prime example of one. They did. but now I think you got to you do have to look at it, because I think clock management with this team is an issue, and kind of worries me a little bit. Let's go to your phone, 615-737-1025, our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Josh wants to weigh in on Ryan Tannehill. Josh, welcome in.
Thank you. I just want to comment on what D-Mase is saying. I think his plan was to run for first down and have enough time to come up and spike the ball and then go for a field goal to make it a closer field goal attempt.
Yeah, I mean, and we discussed that. Thanks, Josh. I think you're right. I mean, that, it was – I think the big part, it wasn't necessarily being a closer field goal attempt. It was just being able to spike the ball.
Yeah.
And stop the clock.
It's not – and we discussed that, Josh, that we know what his thinking was. Get the first down, spike it, and we're good. But in with that much time left, you can't take a chance at trying to get the first down. You're not – I mean, he's a good runner, but listen, he's not Josh Allen. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not some of these other quarterbacks that are either powerful enough or elusive enough to get away from tacklers. He's a good runner, but he's not them. I know what you were thinking, but you can't put that ahead of the needs of the team, because if you don't get it, look at what happens. It costs you 3 points that could have ultimately cost you the game.
Right.
And had they lost, this would have been a bigger issue.
Oh,
than
no
what
doubt.
it is.
No doubt. 615-737-1025. We'll get to more of your phone calls coming up next. A lot of you want to weigh in on this. We will do that. Plus, there is a subplot of this that I do like, and I will explain coming up next. It's Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
This is Colton Sissons, and this is Smashville.
Feeds now, Sissons coming onto the left circle, and Colton Sissons puts it in the net.
This is the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network. ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Hey, Willy Donick over in Europe right now getting ready for the Predators season. Excited about that. Also excited to tell you about Loan Pronto. If you're getting hit hard with the higher costs these days, if your credit card bills are going up and they're piling up, how about wiping out those bills before the holidays? Loan Pronto has the pathway for you because your home equity can rescue right now. Home values are up. There's a ton of cash that you can get right now, and Loan Pronto specializes in that zero-cost cash-out home refi. You can get tens of thousands of dollars in as little as 2 weeks. So pay off all those bills, consolidate everything into one super low payment. And if your mortgage rate goes up a little bit, it's offset by the fact that those bills are paid, your credit card rate goes to zero, all of that stuff. And when the rates come back down, Loan Pronto will refi you again for free. So don't wait any longer. Call Loan Pronto right now at 615-499-5780. You can skip your next two house payments altogether. 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
Hey, football fans, Dak Prescott here. And I'm here to tell you that with NFL Sunday Ticket only on DirecTV, you can watch your favorite team no matter where you live. Because NFL Sunday Ticket gives you every live out-of-market game every Sunday afternoon. So switch to DirecTV and learn how to get the 2022 NFL Sunday Ticket season included at no extra cost. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
With choice package and above, 24-month agreement required. Call for details.
Finishing jobs on time, never being idle, and powerful equipment. Meade has the John Deere excavating equipment and the smart grade technology solutions for you and your business. Power your business with a new, used, or rented excavator and get the performance you expect and service you can rely on. Call us today for the equipment built as tough and reliable as you, or visit us at meadtractor.com. That's meadtractor.com.
3 decades of bluegrass, folk, country, and punk from one city, Los Angeles, where country rock was created and changed the world of popular music. Don't miss Western Edge, the roots and reverberations of Los Angeles country rock, a major exhibition at the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum, featuring artists from Buffalo Springfield and the Byrds to Linda Ronstadt, the Eagles and Emmylou Harris to the Blasters and Dwight Yoakam. Witness Western Edge today. The exhibit is presented by City National Bank.
Hey, it's Jared. Are you looking to move? If so, do yourself a favor and reach out to my friends at TriStar Moving. You can be assured your move will be stress-free because they've got new utility vans to help with pack jobs to separate your high-value or fragile items from the bulk of your furniture, and their movers are carefully picked and highly trained. No one in the game is doing this. TriStar Moving is raising the standard in the moving industry. When you're ready to move, give them a call. TriStar Moving, 615-640-1219, or online at nationalmoving.org/radio, and tell them Jared Stillman referred you for 10% off. That's TriStar Moving.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer Wet Jet. With Swiffer Wet Jet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer Wet Jet, the faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
Jonathan Hutton. You have to put the ball in his hands in that moment. And Chad Withrow. My kicker's making no decisions on a football team. Are in the game. Join them for NFL postgame after every Titans home game, live from Landshark Bar and Grill in Margaritaville on Broadway. They'll break down that day's game and look ahead to the next one. NFL postgame is presented by Two Rivers Ford, Renter's Warehouse, and Superbook Sports on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, this is Roman Yossi. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Great song. Thank you, Roman. Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Again, you can weigh in by calling right now, 615-737-1025. That's our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Want to tell you about Nashville's best deal. It's Slingshot of Music City. Experience a whole new Nashville with a Polaris Slingshot rental. Let the amazing views take your breath away as you view the sights as never seen before in an open-aired auto cycle. Get a 4-hour rental for only $115 at theGameNashville.com/deals. Very cool. Check that out. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason here with you. Nick Keyser behind the glass. We'll check in with Willy from Prague here in just a little bit. So discussing Ryan Tannehill, what happened at the end of the first half. Several of you want to weigh in on that. Let's go back to our phones, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Joe has a comment on the third down field goal attempt. Joe, welcome in.
Hey, appreciate it. I just got a question. Why didn't they just bring the field goal team out on that third down? Because whether Tannehill did what he was supposed to do or not, it's still going to be pretty much same spot. That's my question.
All right, Derek, thank you. What do you think about that?
He's right. I mean, because it still was a makeable field goal regardless of where you were at that particular time. So why not take the field goal right then and there instead of, chancing it with that extra play? That's a question that Vrabel, needs to answer. I'm not sure if anyone asked him that question, but that is a question he needs to answer. Like, why? What made you? Because you were already in field goal position. What then made you go out and decide to run an extra play? That's a question, and I don't think it's been asked, but that's a question that Vrabel, I would like to know too. Why did you feel you needed to run an extra play when you were already, even if you would have got to 1 yard, you were 1 yard closer. Sure. That was it. So why not kick the field goal and not put your team in that position?
I think that's a fantastic question. I don't know why they wouldn't have done that either. I mean, you're not really changing anything, especially if you get a yard or two. Like, what is that really going to do for a kicker in the NFL? Then, I totally agree. Jason wants to weigh in. Jason, welcome in.
Yeah, he kind of stole my thunder, but what if Tannehill knew I was thinking to himself, well, you could have kicked it now. And they asked him, well, why didn't you kick it on third down? He can't throw the coach under the bus.
Yeah, well, and I don't think he was trying to.
Appreciate
it.
y'all ask him that. He ain't going to say, if you ask him that, he's got to give some other kind of answer, but nobody's asked him that.
Yeah.
I'd like to see what he would have said.
Yeah, that's a good question. Thanks, Jason. But he's not, like he said, he's not going to throw anybody.
Yeah, that's not
under the bus.
That's not.
He's not going to. He may not own up to it, but
No.
He's not going to throw anybody under the bus.
He's darn sure not going to throw the head coach under the bus or the special teams coach.
But there is a subplot with this, and before I get to Paul's call, this was yesterday, and ironically, Paul Kuharsky asked the question, but this is the subplot in this whole thing.
You said you didn't really know what happened at the end of the first half there with the clock stuff in your comments after the game. After looking at it, what happened there, and why is the clock management stuff been a little bit more suspect this year than it's been historically with you at quarterback?
I mean, I wouldn't say that that's the case. Maybe that's your opinion, but we had that situation there. Possibility to, for tackle short of the sticks, run the enough time to get that off. Obviously, we'd like to get the first down and be able to spike it and stop the clock there, but weren't able to execute it.
Okay, so here's a subplot, and then I'll get Paul's call on this.
Mm-hmm.
He does have a little bit of an attitude, and he's had that since training camp, and I like that. I like that part of it. Now, where I want him to focus that is, have that Ray Lewis pissed off for greatness attitude.
Mm-hmm.
But, in this situation, you got to own it because clock management has been a little suspect. I think Kuharsky's right that it has been a little suspect this year. So own it. Say, and you can, in that situation, you give the cliche answer of, all right, yeah, you know what? Maybe that's your opinion. I'm working on things every day.
Mm-hmm.
We're working on things every day. You're right. We got to get better, but that's our focus, and that's what we're doing. This is one of those situations where it's an example, and it showed itself. But with that, I do like the attitude. I do like that he has a little bit more of an attitude than he's had in the past. The chip on the shoulder thing, to me, is not a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing. And I'm sitting here, and I'm watching the play over again. And now that I'm watching it over again, this is sort of, I'm looking at it and thinking, does Tannehill see the field? Is he really seeing the field the way he needs to see the field? Because the tight end, the inside guy is open on a corner route where he can hit the guy and the guy can run out of bounds. He's open. I don't know. Maybe the pressure got to him that fast, but the inside guy is open, wide open. You throw it in that hole, he catches it out of bounds at about 12 yard at the 12-yard line. I don't know what he was looking at. I really don't. Again, you can blame him for that. You can blame him for running. But ultimately, I want to ask Vrabel, well, why didn't you just kick the field goal? Because you weren't trying to – the play you ran wasn't a shot play down the field. It wasn't a play to get in the end zone for a touchdown. The play you ran subsequently right before the field goal attempt was a play to get a first down, to get 8 yards. My thing is, why not kick the field goal? Just kick the field goal and run the time down to about 3 seconds, let everybody relax, and kick the field goal. I don't understand why you felt you needed to get another yard because the play you called wasn't a shot play. If it's not a shot play, well, let's just kick the field goal. We don't have any timeouts left. Anything can happen.
Right.
I can get sacked, and the guys can sit on me for a minute.
Right.
Now that I'm looking at it even more, I don't blame Tannehill. I blame Vrabel for this. This is Vrabel's fault. Tannehill was an accessory to it, but this is Vrabel's fault. This is the head coach's fault. He shouldn't have. If you're going to call another play, it needs to be a shot play.
So
okay?
go downfield.
Yeah, go downfield, go in the end zone. Throw it in the end zone. Because you picking up 5 more yards or 8 more yards.
What's that going to do?
What's that going to do? You're already in position to kick a field goal. You trust your kicker. Or do you not trust them that much that you feel you need to get one more yard?
See?
One more yard.
I think you may be onto something there.
But again, I blame the blame first starts with Vrabel.
Do you think – okay, hang on. I'm going to get to this call. Paul, welcome in.
Hey guys, this is interesting because this subplot's kind of tying into what I wanted to ask you about. And what D-Mase said is completely logical to me about people are piling up on Tannehill, so he's defensive. It's also, it seems completely logical to me that when you're at a press conference and that you're getting just hit with a question that you don't have time to think it through, you maybe don't always get the best answer. It doesn't occur to you, I probably ought to be humble here. That's not, I get that not being natural for everybody. But my question is, at least the optics from where I'm looking at, and this doesn't just apply to Tannehill, like you were saying. I don't even think he's got full ownership of this situation. But the attitude seems like we won, so who cares? Like, that's the attitude that it seems like in the pressers from all of them. And do you think that's real, or do you think that that's, what are you supposed to say? Because you're here and you're in the press conference. What are you supposed to say? Are you supposed to talk about the second half being crap or every mistake you made? Or are you just supposed to say, hey, we won? I mean, but I think that's why fans at least are upset, because that doesn't feel safe, because it doesn't feel like anything's going to get fixed. Because, yeah, you won, but you're not this kind of play isn't going to get it done against the Chiefs or the Eagles, any of these other games that have meanings. Yeah, you can beat the Colts that way, but you don't play them for the rest of the year. Do you think that that's real? That they're kind of like, we won, so get over it? Or are they trying to fix it?
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate
that's
it.
Interesting.
I said that yesterday.
Yeah.
I said that yesterday. Is I think the feeling now, and again, I get it. I've been a part of it. It's like, man, we won, so let's kind of move past that.
A win is a win.
But the fans are hearing this, and they're thinking like, okay, but what if y'all didn't lose? And what happens when you play a better team? You can't just say, we're winning, so don't worry about, we're not going to talk about that.
You've
know why he doesn't.
2 in a row.
Yeah.
You have won 2 in a row. However, you almost lost them. You should be 3-1 because you should have beaten the Giants, and you screwed yourself over and messed that one up.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree. I'm with you. I'm with you like this. Again, I like the sassiness and the edge that Tannehill has. Jared texted me he doesn't. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. It's just how are you going to use it? Use it in the right ways. That's how you should. For Vrabel, I want to talk about that coming up next because I think you're spot on something. Because Vrabel has done something his entire coaching career that he hasn't been able to break. And I want to see if you notice the same thing. We'll do that coming up next. But, sometimes when I'm stressed out, I may need to, do something, and I hang out with my friends, and I get a Screwball peanut butter whiskey, and I feel so much better. You know why? Because it's an original, just like me, just like the soup, and it goes down smooth. I ask for it by name, like, hey, do you have a Screwball peanut butter whiskey? And I take it as a shot. You may like it as a drink on the rocks. You may like it neat. You can have it as an espresso martini, a peanut butter old-fashioned. It doesn't matter. There are so many things that you can have with Screwball peanut butter whiskey. Just go to their website, screwballwhiskey.com, for more amazing recipes and to hear their story. They are the most awarded peanut butter whiskey in the world. And the reason is because of the natural flavors, and it's made with real peanuts, real peanut butter, and real whiskey. And like I said, because it's an original, the original peanut butter whiskey. So do like I do. When you're out and about with your friends and you're looking for a good drink, ask for it by name. Say, I want a Screwball peanut butter whiskey, just like the suit. Also, do like I do. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022 Screwball Spirits, LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
Every Wednesday at 2:45.
Sanders for the touchdown, 48 yards.
Former NFL wide receiver Chris Sanders joins Stillman and Company to give his thoughts on all things Titans and NFL. Fueled by Parman Energy, now hiring fuel drivers. Apply now at ParmanEnergy.com on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
from the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus. Forecast today being the warmest of this entire week. A high of 85 degrees later on today. Low humidity, tons of sunshine, still no rain, but frost possible Saturday night into Sunday morning.
Brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Men, are you asking yourself questions like, why am I gaining fat? Why is my energy or sex drive down and maybe haven't been getting the exercise you need? If you want to get back to the man you used to be but just don't have that youthful energy, that edge you once had, you very well might have low testosterone. Low T causes all kinds of issues, from a reduced libido, lower drive, and bad sleep patterns to problems with muscle gain, bone density, and more. It may even contribute to erectile dysfunction, and if this sounds like you, it's probably time to get treated for your low T. At the Tennessee Men's Clinic, we've treated thousands of men for low T. We've seen them put on muscle, add to their energy, improve their sex lives, get better sleep, and just feel better. Plus, if you're like most men, you'll see results in only a few weeks. So make an appointment today and experience how testosterone therapy can truly change your life. Your initial appointment is only $99 with results in minutes. Call today, 615-208-9090, or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments extra, results vary.
October is here, and you know what that means. Nashville's annual Oktoberfest this Thursday through Sunday at Bicentennial Mall in Germantown. Bring the whole family for a weekend of competitions, local artisans, vendors, live music, incredible food, and authentic German beer. Prost, y'all!
Looking for a career with purpose or have that passion for youth development? Boys and Girls Clubs of Middle Tennessee provides a safe place where youth gain the tools to learn, lead, and reach their full potential. And that starts with you, offering competitive pay and free after-school care for employees. Learn more at bgcmt.org.
This week's Nashville's best deal is Slingshot Me of Music City. Experience a whole new Nashville with the Polaris Slingshot rental. Let the amazing views take your breath away as you view the sights as never seen before in an open-aired auto cycle. These things are awesome. Get a 4-hour rental for only $115 at thegamenashville.com/deals. Slingshot Me of Music City is Nashville and Middle Tennessee's premier slingshot rental destination. Get half off now at thegamenashville.com/deals.
Contact Slingshot Me for any questions about rentals at 615-601-2829.
Jared Stillman.
If you get 3 games where he doesn't turn the ball over, you're going to the Super Bowl.
Caroline Fenton.
I don't know if he would be open to joining another team.
Stillman and Company. Afternoons from 2 to 6.
Presented by TriStar Moving.
On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app. This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willy, and D-Mase broadcasting live from the Hillside Medical Game Studios. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason, Nick Keyser, intern Connor behind the glass as well. 615-737-1025. Taking your calls on Ryan Tannehill, Mike Vrabel, the debacle at the end of the first half. But I'm going to say this, D-Mase. And a couple of questions on Twitter as well. Terrell says, how much of this is not playing in the preseason contributes to this discourse? Maybe. At this point, though, you're 4 games in. Mike.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, I don't think guys not playing the preseason is contributing to what's going on in the second half of these games. So that's just me, because it seems like, you watch other teams and they've figured it out, whether they're playing good second halves, good first halves, or just playing consistently throughout the game. Now, bad teams are just bad and they're so up and down. But the good teams, they play, they're consistent and they play. I'm not saying they're perfect. They're consistent. They're going to have bad moments, but it's not the same thing every day that we can point to. If we look at these teams that are number one, whether it's Philadelphia, Miami, Buffalo, who else? Kansas City, you don't point at the same exact thing with them every week. The question is not, they keep doing this every week. But with the Titans, that's what you're pointing at. every week, or with Indianapolis.
It's
That's
a
what
lot
you're
of the
pointing
same
at.
stuff.
Exactly, a lot of the same stuff, and that's because to me when you're discussing this with teams in this situation, that's because they're not, good teams. They're not as good as what they should be or what we may think they are. This is not this Titans team, this roster is not better than it was last year. And a lot of new faces, some guys that they don't know what they're doing, some guys that they counted on before the season that they can't count on now. This is a team that, is being kept together by a few of their veterans and a head coach that 90% of the time is coaching really well.
Yep.
But then he has these clusters.
He has these moments.
Yes.
This is what I think he does. And I believe that he's done this since his first game as a head coach. He overthinks. And this is coming from somebody, if Rick's listening and going like, pot calling the kettle black here. I overthink everything. Gets me in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
But I do. I think there are situations, and you can see it. Like, they'll show him on the sideline, and you can just see the wheels spinning.
Mm-hmm.
And in some ways, I think that's a good thing, and then in some ways, I think it gets him in trouble. That, like, for instance, if it's a fourth and 2, you've seen him kick the field goal, you've seen him go for it.
Mm-hmm.
I think he overthinks it. I'm sure he's got somebody in his ear saying, all right, the analytics say yada, yada, yada. And you got to be quick. But sometimes I think he overthinks and he outthinks himself. And you wanted to blame you're basically now shifting the blame to him for the end of the first half. And as the head coach, I mean, you're the one, it falls on you. I think it's because he overthought the situation.
Yeah, I think Coach Vrabel, and this is only me, I think sometimes that competitive nature comes out in him. But it comes out in a player's form.
Yep.
And sometimes he's like, at the moment, let's do this. Because as a player, this is what maybe I would have done or I have done, and it worked. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you just have to go off of that feeling. You can't, damn analytics, throw it in the trash can. I'm going off of feeling. How's my team feeling? How's my team looking? Or do they have the momentum? Are they not playing well? It's more so of a feel than it is analytics. And I think sometimes Vrabel, be it right or wrong, Vrabel go more off of feeling and how he feels as a player in that moment. Because he's in it because to me, he's one of few coaches that are in the trenches with his guys. That he feels what they feel. Why? Because he's been there. He's done that. He's been in those situations. So he's in it with his players. Not all coaches can relate, and not all coaches think that way. But I believe sometimes Vrabel does, and it can come out like it did in this situation. Again, I think he's a hell of a coach.
No doubt.
No doubt. But there are times where, he does things and you think like, man, why? Why did you do that? And these were, for me, this was one of the times you figure, like, because as a player, I would have been thinking the same thing Vrabel thought. It's 3rd and 1. Let's go down the field and try to get a first down, or let's take a shot in the end zone. It's not going to hurt. I would have thought that same way as a player, and I guarantee you that's what they were thinking as players. Vrabel's thinking the same thing.
Sure, he's thinking like
he's
a player.
Not thinking as a coach and saying, you know what, 19 seconds left, we have no timeouts. I don't want anything to go wrong here. Let's slowly bring on the field goal team, or spike it with 3rd. Get it down to 5 seconds and spike the ball. We're fine. We'll let our kicker kick it. Now we have 27 points instead of 24.
Right.
That's more so in the line of a coach. But a player is, let's take that extra shot.
Let's do it.
Because that's what I'm thinking as a player, man. We got 19 seconds. Let's throw it down the field. Give us an opportunity. Well, it backfired on him. So I'm watching this play, and I'm looking at it, I'm thinking like, whoa. Let's take some of this blame. Let's shift it off of Ryan Tannehill.
Right.
Let's take 80% of this and put it on the head coach.
And look, and that's why Tannehill's got a little bit of the chip on his shoulder.
Exactly, because
y'all want to blame me for everything.
Yeah, it's not. I can't say the head coach should have kicked the field goal on third down. I can't say
what
that.
What if he did, though? How great. I mean, number one, Jared's head would explode if Tannehill just one day just looks and goes, you know what, Vrabel called a crappy game. That's what happened. Like he screwed this up.
Maybe he can do that on his way out.
Oh, that would be amazing. Real quick, thank you. Real quick, Gator Tim wants to weigh in on quarterback play. Welcome in, Gator Tim.
Hey, guys. So what I'm seeing in the NFL, I watch a lot of other games and Titans games every week, and it's becoming a trend that the 2-minute drill at the end of the half, the teams are huddling up. They're going slow until they get past midfield, and then they're almost like they're getting set up for a field goal. And it's like they don't want to leave the other team any time on the clock, so they're getting it down to about the 35 and going slow and not really trying to score touchdowns. And I'm seeing it backfiring a lot. I'm seeing a lot of teams running out of time, kicking 55-yard field goals that don't go in. So I think this is kind of an analytics new wave thing that we're seeing. So I just wanted to get your opinions on that.
Derek, got about a minute.
Thank you,
what do you think?
Gator Tim. He has a point here because and it just didn't start recently. This is a trend that has went back even when I was playing. Right before halftime, you're thinking, okay, if we're on our own 20, say there's a minute and 20 seconds left, and maybe you don't have a timeout. Maybe that team has only one timeout. If you get at first and 10, if you get 7 yards the first play, then you're like, okay, let's go. Let's do it. Now we put ourselves in a position to get a first down. If you don't get positive yards on first or second down in that situation, then you're like, okay, let's slow this up because we don't want to give. Because if we run the ball or if we throw the ball and it's third and say it's 3rd and 6, if we run the ball here, and they got a timeout, they're just going to call a timeout. Now they got enough time to, receive the ball on the punt and, get a big play or two, because we've seen that too, where teams, it's like 50 seconds left or 30 seconds left before the half, and they get a big strike down the field. Now all of a sudden it switches everything. The tempo goes up. So coaches' thoughts is let's not leave them that much time, on the clock. Let's try to manage this as carefully as we possibly can. But if we get a big play, that first or second down, now we're going. Now we're in 2-minute mode. But if we don't, we got to slow it down. So if we do have to punt it, we're not leaving them a lot of time.
Great participation in this first hour on this. We'll get back into it a little later on in the show. But coming up next, we're going to check in with Willy. He's at a fan event in Prague with the Predators. We'll see what's going on there. We'll do that next. Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
You love the game.
The doors on the board. Strike 3, sounds win.
We live the game.
Going up against that defense, he can make some plays and take that next step.
We got pass rushers.
Checkered flag in the air.
Awesome game 7.
What a stop made by UC
The game. Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, Willy Donick here. I'm over in Europe with the Nashville Predators, excited about the start of the season. But back home, I want to continue to get the word out about QC Kinetics. It's one of the best things to happen in our listening area over the last year. And they have been helping people in Middle Tennessee get real lasting relief from the joint pain with that latest technology in regenerative medicine. No drugs, no downtime, no steroids, no surgery. It's really a breakthrough thing. In fact, QC Kinetics is now tripled in size. They've got clinics in Nashville, Clarksville, and Murfreesboro, so there is one near you. So if you've got that pain in the hips, shoulder, back, whatever the joint is, don't think the traditional ways are the only options for you. Check out QC Kinetics. You can get an appointment in as soon as next week, and the consultation is absolutely free. So call QC Kinetics right now, Nashville, Clarksville, and Murfreesboro, 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024. 615-249-4024 for QC Kinetics.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
About 80% of new home buyers don't shop around for the best mortgage loan. That's a mistake. Hey, Willy Donick here for my friends at Loan Pronto. Not all mortgages are created equal. People who use Loan Pronto, on average, save $3,500 in closing costs. They get a better rate, which saves them thousands more every year. Your banker or agent's go-to lenders are fine people, but don't assume they're giving you the best deal. Call Loan Pronto for a quick second opinion or go to loanpronto.com. I'll bet you they can get you a better loan, lower rate, without all those annoying closing costs. And when rates drop, Loan Pronto will refinance you for free. No closing costs. Call to get pre-approved in minutes. They can even hook you up with a high-performing real estate agent if you need one. So call Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780. Or go to loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans apply.
Football season is here again, and when it comes to procuring my adult beverages for the big games, I saddle up and head to Red Spirits and Wine. Red's titanic selection of beer, wine, distilled spirits, and cigars is second to none. And Red's Cracker Jack crew always delivers a winning combination of service and value. There's no two ways about it. Red is top of the range. Open 7 days a week at Highway 70 South in Bellevue. And check us out at redspirits.com.
Bar Lines in the Omni Nashville Hotel.
Hey Nashville, it's Chef Phillip at Bar Lines at the Omni Hotel. Come try our new hot dog burn ends. Nathan's all beef hot dogs smoked over pecan wood, tossed in honey sriracha barbecue, topped with a cool crema and crisp spring onions. One of my favorites.
Attending an event downtown? Dine at Bar Lines in the Omni Nashville Hotel.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, Nashville's exclusive home for the Nashville Predators. 102.5 and 106.3.
Terang, it's a high fly ball.
We got pass rushers.
Awesome game,
Checkered flag in the air. The Game.
A Cromwell media station.
Now let's see if we can bring them to life, all right?
Bringing you entertainment and informative sports talk during your workday.
Smart, funny, classy, and I like him a lot.
This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase with Chase McCabe, Willy Donick.
Mason, touchdown, Tennessee.
And former NFL wide receiver Derek Mason on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
This is a new level of geek you got going on here.
Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 11 o'clock hour, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason here with you. Nick Keyser, intern Connor behind the glass. We're going to check in with Willy here in just a few minutes. Mm-hmm. Trying to get him on the line. The phone could be – I mean, look, Prague, I don't know what's going on. You know, they're in the Czech Republic. I don't know if, Russia's trying to interfere.
I don't know what's going on. Yeah. It's got to be, got to be cautious.
Yeah, you do. So I'll throw this in. Terrell on Twitter asked, how much of the second half is scripted? We know that the Titans, I think anywhere from the first 8 to 15 plays of the game are scripted, but do you go back to a script for the second half typically?
No, because it's halftime is not that long. So you can't sit there and script plays at halftime. There are plays that you want to get to in your playbook, and you feel, okay, first play, this is what we're thinking. But beyond that, it's almost like, okay, now we got to call a game based upon feel, where we're at, down on distance, how they're playing, what do we anticipate them doing on defense. Then, it's all a chess game. Whether you script it or not, it's all a chess game. But the second half is a little bit harder to sit there and script, because you don't have the time like you do. Before a game, you script your first 15 plays, and then after that, you pretty much, you hope your team is in a flow.
Yeah.
And you pretty much sort of, this is what we're feeling as a team. This is what we're doing well. This is what we're not. So in the second half, you say, okay, these are the things that we did well in the first half. Let's do them in a couple of more, but let's do it out of a different formation and stuff like that, personnel.
Let's go to Prague. Let's say hello to Willy Donick, who is on the line with us. Willy D, how we doing?
Gentlemen, I'm doing well. I am a big fan of that the players took part in at the team hotel here in downtown Prague. So I just stepped out of that. Really good following here. I'll tell you, the practice today at the O2 Arena was open to the public, or at least you could get a ticket, and it was just fantastic. It really. They had all kinds of young teams and skaters there, and a huge contingency of Predators fans filled up about a whole section. They were chanting and doing cheers while the practice was going on. So I think you're going to see quite a bit of gold tomorrow in the stands.
That's awesome. That's really cool that they were that they've traveled like that. So what did we learn from practice? Are we thinking we're going to see similar lineup that we saw in Bern?
It looks like the lineup will be the same, other than that UC Saros, of course, will be starting in goal. Everything at practice today, for the most part, looked the same as it did in the game against SC Bern. So I think the guys that they determined had won the jobs, and remember, a pretty relatively short period of time, look like they're going to get the first shot in the game on Friday. So no line combination changes that we could see. It looked like Tanner Jeannot might have been getting some run on the second power play unit in the place of Kiefer Sherwood, which is just a small change. But everything else looked pretty much the same other than that.
So what we see tonight should be what we see Friday, is what you're saying.
That's what we think.
Okay.
Yeah, and they'll skate again tomorrow. They'll have a morning skate. I don't know if they'll show the lines in the skate, but there could be a clue or two that we would see tomorrow, but I would not anticipate any changes from what we saw today in the practice. So I think they're just rolling that way. And as we talked about yesterday on the show, I know a lot of people are really wondering about why Philip Tomasino is not in the opening day lineup, or it doesn't appear that he will be. But as we talked a lot yesterday, I think it's just the ability for the coaching staff to reward the players they thought had played the best in camp, came into camp ready to go, and basically won the job on opening night. Now, game 2, game 5, game 8, they could be very, very different circumstances. And, of course, it all will change when the team comes back home and they have to get the roster down to 23. There'll be certainly some less options there at that point. But definitely that's the story, is that Kiefer Sherwood looks like he's going to be the opening day starter on the second line.
Now, what do you think? I don't know if you've talked with Tomasino or not, but from what you can judge, what has been his attitude about it?
I think he's very – I have not talked to him one-on-one. What I see, though, he does have a very upbeat personality, and so I think he's an energizer bunny. I think he's going to take this the right way. I know deep down he'll be disappointed, but what you got to hope for, just like with anything else, is that it drives you to be better and be ready when your number's called. And it will just be a matter of time. The cream will rise to the top, and over the course of the season, the best players will rise up and take those roles. And I do think eventually it won't take long for Phil Tomasino. And there's a couple ways it could happen. Certainly there could be injuries, guys banged up, and he'll be in there very soon. But I think if he just does his thing, he's got excellent potential, and it's just a matter of time before he jumps up and wins that job.
Willy Danek is with us from the Czech Republic in Prague as the Predators had practice earlier today. It's about 6 o'clock in the evening over there. So you said there was a fan event. What's kind of on tap for tomorrow outside of the game itself?
Well, tomorrow is more of your routine game day with the morning skate and the preparation for the coaches and things like that. So not a whole lot outside of the game for the team tomorrow. The team, the last day and a half or so, the practice was at 3, and they had the entire day off yesterday. So that was the day. They basically had 2 nights and 2 days to sort of relax, hang out with family that are here. I had a chance to catch up with Philip Forsberg. He's got his grandparents here. You'll hear him talk about that a little bit. They have not seen him play since he left Sweden I mean, they have never been able to get to a game that he's played in. So, honestly, they've never seen him play in the NHL. So this will be a great moment for him. He's really looking forward to that. So I think it's back to business for the players, but they've had a chance to sort of take in the surroundings here, and that's always important. And certainly we're having a chance to take the surroundings in here. It is really something special here in Prague. Some people like to call it Hogwarts. Some of the traveling party, they were joking about that. But just the history, these beautiful architectural structures that are there everywhere you go. Cathedrals that were built in, the 14th century, the 16th century. They're all over the place here. So it's just amazing to see.
Well, and I know your wife, Erin, is there with you. I saw some pictures. Is she having a good time?
She got here yesterday afternoon, and she's been full bore ever since then.
She's been on the
walking
go,
all over the place and look and think, oh yeah. So
see, that's tough.
It.
That's tough for her. She never has any energy or anything.
Yeah, man. Goodness. I think she has enough energy for all of us.
Oh, there's no doubt. There is no doubt. All right.
Well, watch out for this. How about this? Her and Sheila Crisp and Terry Crisp together at this fan event. I mean, you talk about some energy waves going through this thing. Between those three, no question about it. They're putting on a show.
You good to hang on for another segment?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. We'll come back with more with Willy from Prague, because I want to ask about the San Jose Sharks team that the Predators are going to see. I think that's an interesting way for them to start the season. We will do that coming up next. Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
High school football is here. Join Big Joe Dubin every Friday night at 6 for the Apple Collision Center's Game Blitz, presented by National Playmakers Academy.
Just a small sample of these great coaches in our area.
We'll go around the mid-state for scores and reports on all the big games.
If I'm a high school coach, I want the challenge.
The Game Blitz is on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey everybody, Joe Rexler here for FanDuel Sportsbook. As we know, football season is rock and rolling. Now is a perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That is free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. All you got to do is sign up with promo code JOE102. FanDuel, of course, has your money line, your point spread, your player props. You can combine them for a same-game parlay with a bigger payout. Live betting means you get updated odds as the games are going. And, of course, you get paid fast. It's safe. It's secure. It's easy. This week, I would be big on the Titans at Washington against the Commanders. That's one little tip for you. Better tip, sign up with promo code JOE102 for your no-sweat first bet. Again, promo code JOE102. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. You must be 21 or older in present Tennessee. First online real money wager only. Refund issued is now withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. And if you have a gambling problem, call the Tennessee Red Line, 800-889-9789.
Finishing jobs on time, never being idle, and powerful equipment. Meade has the John Deere excavating equipment and the smart grade technology solutions for you and your business. Power your business with a new, used, or rented excavator and get the performance you expect and service you can rely on. Call us today for the equipment built as tough and reliable as you, or visit us at meadtractor.com. That's meadtractor.com.
It is now clear the devastation that Hurricane Ian has delivered to Puerto Rico, Florida, and parts of our East Coast. Volunteers and organizations from our hometown are helping. The need really is for money to help those hardest hit. If you can, Cromwell Media encourages us all to donate to your favorite service organization. If you don't have one, choose redcross.org. America always helps around the world. Now is a time to help our neighbors here at home.
Hey, it's Chase McCabe, and every season is screwball season in my house. No matter the time of year, that rich, smooth taste just hits the spot. Y'all know Screwball. It's made with real whiskey, peanuts, and peanut butter, and it's just flat out delicious. It's my favorite. However you take it, as a shot, in an espresso martini, or a peanut butter old-fashioned, make it a Screwball peanut butter whiskey. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022 Screwball Spirits, LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
This week's Nashville's best deal is Slingshot Me of Music City. Experience a whole new Nashville with the Polaris Slingshot rental. Let the amazing views take your breath away as you view the sights as never seen before in an open-aired auto cycle. These things are awesome. Get a 4-hour rental for only $115 at thegamenashville.com/deals. Slingshot Me of Music City is Nashville and Middle Tennessee's premier slingshot rental destination. Get half off now at thegamenashville.com/deals.
Contact Slingshot Me for any questions about rentals at 615-601-2829.
I love this show.
Never miss a moment of the show.
Okay, all right, okay.
Subscribe to the Chase, Willy, and D-Mase podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts. I'm ready to step this up a notch. You're listening to Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Tune into the college football game of the week on 94.9 The Fan this Saturday as MTSU takes on UAB at 2:30. College football game of the week is brought to you by Twin Peaks, home of the 29-degree drafts and wall-to-wall sports and Superbook Sports, my favorite sports book. Voted #1 sportsbook in Vegas. Download their app today. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason, Billy Jean here with you. 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Willy Donick is in Prague checking out the Predators. What do we think about this San Jose team, Willie? Because they obviously have not been the San Jose of old that the Predators faced in the playoffs several years back, lost in a Game 7. They've gone through somewhat of a rebuild, but what are we expecting out of them?
It's a good question because they are pretty much starting anew in a lot of ways. They have a new general manager in Mike Greer, who is a historic figure because he is the first black GM in NHL history. Played at Boston University. He and Hal Gill have known each other a long time. So everybody's really BU. That's
yes.
right. Derek knows a little something about BU. No question about it. I mean, obviously John Hines is a BU guy too. So I think everybody's really curious to see which direction he wants to take the team. They pretty much sold Tomáš Hertl, their best player, who is from Prague, that they are not going to do a full rebuild because he re-upped with them to a new 8-year contract, which is one of the things that sort of set the bar for the Philip Forsberg contract. So I think the Sharks are going to be a more veteran team than they were last year. They can't help but be. We talked to Brett Hedekin today, Mason and I, at the practice. He's their color commentator. And he said last year they played 11 rookies at one point or another during the season. And this year they're going to start the season with no rookies. All the rookies are in their second year, and they haven't brought anybody else in. So they've got guys like Nick Bonino. They brought in, among others, Matt Benning. And, of course, Luke Cunnin will be in the lineup for the Sharks. So you're going to see some familiar faces. I think they're okay. I think they will be very competitive. And if you're not ready to go, they could beat you twice with some of the guys they have. Hertl, Logan Couture, very dangerous player. They've still got Erik Karlsson. No Brent Burns anymore. But that was probably what they needed to do, clear some salary cap space so they can do some more things with their roster. So they're certainly not a team that's going to be predicted to make the playoffs by very many. But I think what they want to do, they're looking at it as the Predators were the team that took the last spot in the playoffs last year. So that's the benchmark for them. How do they match up with the Predators? I think that's the edge that they're coming in with. And I think they're going to be looking in particular to not only get the season off to a good start, but see where they match up with the Predators, who, for the most part, dominated them last year. The Predators beat them all 3 times.
Now, Willie, I was yesterday. I was reading an article on NHL.com. It had the I think it was Super 16, and the Nashville Predators. They had them ranked 12th. And here's what they said about them, and tell me if you agree. It says the number one reason Nashville can win the Cup is that UC is healthy. The goalie was the finalist for the Vezina Trophy, but missed time because of an injury. But they said Nashville also is a better team with the addition of McDonough and forward Nino Niederreiter. Niederreiter, excuse me. They said Madonna is stout, and he's an experienced defenseman who has won a Stanley Cup trophy twice with Tampa Bay. So are they pretty much in line with what you're thinking as far as how they describe the Nashville Predators?
I think that is definitely going to be what the consensus is. I would say is the Predators are going to be a team that is predicted to make the playoffs way more than last year. Last year, almost nobody picked them to make the playoffs. Now I'm seeing a lot, not just the publication you looked at, Derek, but I see a lot of publications saying they could make the top three in the Central. They'll make it back to the playoffs. But I think the big question on everybody's mind is, can they make it with the chance to do some damage in the playoffs? And when you're in the same division as Colorado, that creates some challenges for sure. UC Saros, I do think, feels very good. I saw him in the behind the glass talking in detail, along with John Hines, about what the process was like after the injury, that it took him a long time to really get back to feeling good. And he spent extra time in Nashville. He sacrificed some of his off-season before he went home to Finland to make sure that he was on the correct path to get back to 100%. So he looked really good in practice today. He had a nice performance in his one preseason game, so he should be raring to go. And obviously, he's a key to a lot of things. And first thing, you got to get there to the playoffs. And the second thing, it would be really nice to see him healthy and ready to go, because any pathway that leads to good things in the playoffs probably starts with a great performance by him.
All right, Willie. So we know that the measuring stick for any team in the NHL going into the season is the Colorado Avalanche. The Superbook Sports app has them at plus 350 to win the Cup. They're the favorite by a pretty good margin. Toronto at plus 800. Florida and Tampa are at plus 1,000. They got Carolina at plus 1,200. Calgary, Edmonton, Rangers, Vegas all at plus 1,600. The Wild at plus 2,000, which I don't know about that. Then the Bruins, Kings, Penguins, and Blues are all plus 2,500. Then you finally get to the Predators at plus 4,000 with Vancouver and Washington. So when you look at let's just say the West, where do you think the Predators going into the season, it's a long season, a lot can happen, match up with the rest of the Western Conference when they were the 8th seed last year?
I think the way I look at it in the West is, I think after Colorado, there are a lot of teams that could end up being the next best team. So it's an advantage to be in the Pacific Division. Remember last year, the Predators, I think, would have had a much easier path. They actually, I think, could have done some damage in the playoffs. They could have had some success had UC Saros stayed healthy and they played the Flames in the first round as opposed to Colorado. So all that to say, I think the Pacific Division collectively is better than it was last year, but there's still a lot of question marks. And I think the Predators are in the mix of being, in that top 3, top 4 in the West. I think that would be the goal. Try to get into the playoffs to where you don't have to play a Colorado in the first round. Finish in the top 3, presuming, let's just say, that Colorado ends up winning the Central Division. If you could be in that 2 versus 3, that avoids Colorado. Or, the other thing is to be the wild card that plays in the Pacific. But that's hard to do if you have a good team. But a lot of people are looking at Edmonton. I still think Edmonton has a lot of question marks, even though their playoff success gives them a lot of confidence. Calgary changed a lot of things from last year out of necessity because they lost Matthew Tkachuk. They made the big trade, right? So they've kind of changed around the pieces a little bit. They still look like a pretty good team on paper. St. Louis has lost a couple of key pieces from last year. Minnesota's lost a huge piece in Kevin Fiala, and they've got $12 million off the top of the salary cap. So I think you can make what Nashville wants to do is elevate into that group of the next pool of teams one step below Colorado, looking to challenge them. That's the goal, I think. Yeah,
and I feel like right now there's no reason that they couldn't be in that top 3 in the Central. And I know that's easier said than done, and a lot can happen in 82 games, but I don't believe in Minnesota. We know what Colorado is. I think St. Louis is pretty darn good. but I think the Predators should be right there, in that spot. The wild card to me could be Dallas of what exactly they are. They've lost some too, but if they're healthy and some of their key pieces stay healthy, then what exactly could they be?
Yeah, I think that's the hard part. Is in the Central, you can be better, but you still have to play those tough teams. Dallas, they have question marks. We mentioned St. Louis and Minnesota, but those are all, at the end of the day, going to be quality teams, you would think. Even Winnipeg, I could see them having a bounce back. Now, you've got two serious rebuilders in Arizona and Chicago at the bottom of the division, which means that you're going to have to beat up on those teams, and then you've got to fare well against tough opponents like Minnesota, St. Louis, Dallas, Winnipeg, right? And Nashville did that last year to get to 97 points. But I think that's the unique. I still think the Central is as deep as any division 1 through 5 that you're going to find. These are really good quality teams. So the goal is to finish top 3, but it certainly won't be easy.
Well, Willie, on that, I have been given a piece of news that I am very, very excited about. Nick Keyser's looking at me like, oh, he didn't tell me. I don't know. Yeah, well, you don't get to know everything, rookie. Sometimes it's for, you get the effect. But Pete Weber is going to be joined in the booth tomorrow for at least a period by one Terry Crisp. The band is back together.
Yes.
In Prague.
I wish I could have broken that news because I knew that. I had that knowledge, and I wish you'd asked me. I would have broken it, but I'm glad Pete was able to pass that along. That is going to be a lot of fun.
I didn't get it from Pete.
Hanging out with Crispy here yeah.
I didn't get it from Pete. The suit knows people.
Yeah, the suit knows. Hey, that's just how it is, Willie.
Right. Okay.
The suit knows people. So looking forward to having Crispy on the broadcast with Pete, and I know there's a few other things that we're working on as well. Willie, we'll let you go on that. Hope you enjoy your night in Prague, and can't wait to watch you and Mace on the TV tomorrow.
I'm excited, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be on Valley Sports, just how you always watch us. We'll start at 12:30, and, of course, we've got the radio coverage on the game, as you guys know well. Guys, I talked to Philip Forsberg. I know the first one I sent, the version back to you guys may not have sounded the best, but I sent it to you guys individually. I think there's a better version. I said, hopefully you guys can play that. It's a fun conversation with Phil. I did ask him about the mustache.
Okay, good.
So you know.
All right, we hopefully will be able to do that. And
in fact, I'm having trouble. My phone, the Wi-Fi here we've experienced this week from the hotel. It's not very good. But I also tried to email it to you, Chase. We're talking shop here on the air.
That's
okay.
But
I tried to email you, so look for your email for the Philip Forsberg interview. I also tried to text Nick individually a version of it. So I want that to play if it's at all possible. Yeah, there you go.
We will see what we can do, and since we're talking shop, send me the silly underdog stuff too.
Please, Willie.
Very nice. Got to get that done. I'll do it.
All right. That is Willy Danek reporting live from Prague in the Czech Republic. As again, he'll be on Valley Sports tomorrow for the call. Predators and Sharks Game 1 in the Global Series. Coming up next, you're going to hear from Titans offensive coordinator Todd Downing. We will do that, but first, D-Mase is going to tell us about BetUS.
That I am going to do. It's Thursday. Thursday night football has started for the week. Well, football has started for the week, NFL. And if you want to get your bets in, people, please, I suggest that you go to BetUS.com, which is back for its 28th year of NFL action with the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%. BetUS offers their members the opportunity to cash in on all your favorite leagues, including the NFL, which starts tonight, NBA, MLB, and more. NBA is still in preseason, but they're slowly coming along. MLB is about to start their playoffs up, so get your bets in. They've also got hundreds of new casino games, including the coolest European slots, and their live dealers are there waiting for you at the tables. You need a sport book with integrity and longevity. You need to know that you will be getting paid. That's important, people. You need a sport book that offers everything, including live betting, MMA, golf, horse racing, esports, and all kinds of crazy bets. Call today at 1-800-79-BET-US. That's 1-800-79-BET-US, and they will walk you through setting up an account. Nobody in the industry, and I mean nobody, gives better bonuses than BetUS. Join now. Mention 1025, which is the best radio station in town. And you can get up to 200% in bonuses on your first deposit. Nobody beats that. So head on over to betus.com and join today. That's BetUS, where the games begin.
Every Monday at 6, it's the Eddie George Show live from 6th and Peabody.
When we hit the turf, we clock in, we're locked in, and we're committed to our craft.
Each week, the former Titan and current TSU head coach will be joined by Outkick 360's Jonathan Hutton.
Props to you and your staff, but also to the kids that have bought into everything you're saying.
And special guests to break down the Tigers' latest game and talk all things football. The Eddie George Show, Mondays at 6 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Family Leisure invites you to relax at home this fall with all our indoor products on sale now.
Enjoy the movie theater experience with theater seating from Family Leisure. 3-piece sets start at only $9.99. Massage chairs are only $14.99 as well.
30 pool tables on display. Hundreds in stock for immediate delivery. Pool tables start at $14.99 install.
Family Leisure has above-ground pools ready for immediate installation.
Outdoor and wicker furniture. Huge selection still in stock.
Family Leisure's Relax at Home sale.
Antioch and Franklin.
One of the best things to happen here over the last year is the arrival of QC Kinetics. Willy Donick here. QC Kinetics is helping people in our area get real, lasting relief from their joint pain with the latest in regenerative medicine. No drugs, no downtime, no steroids, no surgery. In fact, QC Kinetics has tripled in size. Now with clinics in Nashville, Clarksville, and Murfreesboro, one near you. So if you have pain in your knees, hips, shoulder, back, whatever joint it is, don't think steroids and surgery are your only options. Regenerative medicine treatments at QC Kinetics use natural biologics, healing agents from your own body. It restores and repairs the damaged joint tissue. Pro athletes have been doing this for years, and now it's available to you and me. So many people here have done this and are raving about how they got their life back without that nagging daily pain. Appointments are available as soon as next week, and the consultation is free. So call QC Kinetics and learn how modern precision medicine can help you deal with the pain caused by arthritis or injury without drugs or surgery. QC Kinetics in Nashville, Clarksville, and Murfreesboro. 615-249-4024 for the consultation. That's 615-249-4024 for QC Kinetics.
Hey, this is John Hines, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 1025 The Game.
Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Well done, Nick.
Oh, baby, you.
They're usually talking about me.
That's what I
Whatever.
need.
Let's head over to the Titans facility. Let's hear from offensive coordinator Todd Downing.
That nature where we're able to get guys access and then make tight contested catches for sure.
That teams are playing, your receivers. It's clear you got big physical receivers. You guys work on combat catches. When it's one-on-one out there, no safety over top, would you like to see more checks? Like, hey, go to that fade, go to that 9 route. Is that something that you want the guys to do more?
I think some of it is situational. I think when you're dealing with some pressures and things like that, you have some opportunities to use some checks. And then I think, we talked about the play pass earlier. Sometimes it's got to fit within the quarterback's timing and drop and things of that nature. So we're always looking for ways to attack down the field. We want to be able to put our guys in the best position possible based on their skill set and their abilities. And that's just an ongoing process and a challenge for me to see how can we push this ball down the field more consistent.
Play caller, though, when they're doing that, is that something that you take personally for your guys who are out there? Because, it is a form of disrespect.
Yeah, you always want to try to stoke that competitive fire, right, and say, hey, they're putting you on an island over there. It's mano-a-mano who's gonna come down with it. So, absolutely.
In Nate Davis from last year to this year, seems like he's been much improved in terms of being both a run blocker and a pass protector.
Yeah, I think another year under his belt, more experience. He's seen more, he's lived more, and I think that he's really dedicated to taking it one snap at a time and maybe putting either good or bad behind him and just going on to the next play. So, very pleased with Nate and the way that he's stepped up in a leadership role. And believe it or not, he's a vet now, so he's got to help with some of the youth we have up there, and it's been fun to watch.
What have you seen in terms of Josh Gordon's progress since he's come along, and I guess the reason for him maybe not, playing last week as opposed to the previous 2 weeks? What went into that decision too?
Yeah, as far as who's up and who's down and all that, I'll leave that to Coach Vrabel to talk to you guys about those decisions. I'll speak on Josh and his work habits here. He's been, working diligently to get more and more comfortable with the offense. I think he's getting in better and better shape, understanding how we want to do things. I think he's growing in his kind of width and breadth of understanding the offense, so he's not just a single position player. So like the work that he's putting in, and I think that when and if his number gets called, he'll be ready to contribute.
How long has maybe the chick play been in the works? How long have you practiced that? And as a coordinator, how do you pick the time? Hey, we're going to use this play.
Which one? The last play of the game?
The late one, yeah.
About 5 days. That was marinating about 5 days. Yeah.
Just in the Colts
game,
and how when you're working a play like that and it works at the right time. I mean, how good is that as a sell as an offensive coordinator?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking for those small victories. So I celebrated that one a little bit. I was excited to see that play executed and us be able to kneel on the football. Obviously we want to perform better in the second half, but any game that you tell me we get to knee on it to end the game, I'll take it.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Todd Dowding, Titans offensive coordinator, addressing the media. Okay, I thought that was interesting about what he was talking about with Josh Gordon, and he deferred to Vrabel on that. Like, hey, we'll I'll let him answer that.
Yeah, as far as him being up or down, that's not ultimately the decision is Vrabel's to make, whether a guy is up or down. Obviously, Vrabel's going to take into account what the other offensive coaches have to say, but ultimately I think it's his decision to deem a guy up or down. Downing, I mean, these are the same talking points that I heard him say last week in regards to Josh Gordon. It's like, more comfortable with the offense. He's getting in better shape. Leave that part out of it, because this is what because I know they hate answering these questions because they keep on and nothing has changed. So to them, they're going to keep regurgitating what they've said prior weeks, which means they're no closer to activating him this week than they were last week or the week before, because you keep on giving us the same talking points, man. People listen to him. He's telling you we're not, we don't know if he's going to be activated. We're no closer to, as a offensive coordinator, I don't know whether he's going to be activated or not. It's not my decision. We're no closer in my mind than activating him this week than we were last week. Because why? I'm giving you the same old stuff. He's going through the playbook. He's learning more of the playbook. He's getting in better condition. The guy was on a team before he came to y'all. The guy was on the team last year. He was in condition when he got to y'all. So why you keep on throwing out these? It's like they got a script in front of them, and because nothing has changed in regards to whether he's going to play or not or be active or not, they look at this script and they just keep on telling us the same thing. Well, if that is indeed the case, if he's learning more and more of the offense, why isn't he activated?
Right.
Put him in, let him run the plays that he knows. You do it with Cody Hollister. You do it with these other guys. Why not?
That just tells me there's something else.
It's exactly. What people got to understand is when teams get into their rhythm, it's hard for a guy, once the roster has been set and they've watched, their guys into it in it's not 2 days anymore, but in summer practice and right before the season, and they watch their guys go through the grind, and they know who they want on a team and who they don't, who's going to be a starter, who's not. There might be an outlier here or there where this guy makes the team and you're surprised that he make it, or this guy gets more playing time and you're surprised. But for the most part, they know what their team is. They know who they're going to have at certain positions. And then you bring in a guy, after the fact. Once preseason is over with, once we have our roster pretty much set, we're going to add a guy like Josh Gordon to the mix. He's not changing anything.
Right.
We got who we want to play. Unless something catastrophic happens, then he will play more minutes. But until then, he's not. So people, stop asking Downing that question. Stop asking Vrabel that question, because Josh Gordon is not getting any more time than he's already got.
Right.
You know, and I'm only going by what Downing said. He keep on regurgitating the same stuff because he's like, listen, I don't know what more to tell y'all.
Right. There's nothing more to really say about
else. I can't sit here and say he's going to be active and ready to and be a part of the offense because I don't know.
Let's check in on the defense and hear from Shane Bowen.
Progress on Sunday, and what do you see that still needs work?
Yeah, I mean, there were plays he was tight there. I think the one down the field, it was just he got disconnected from the guy and looked back, and the ball was underthrown, and he lost contact with the guy. So there was a bunch of space there, and the guy was able to come back, and he wasn't able to relocate him, right? But I thought his technique improved overall. We just got to continue to work the down the field stuff as it goes. But, I mean, they tried to run an out route on him. He was quick to transition out of his break and drive on it. So, I mean, you're seeing little improvements as we go, and he's just got to keep working to become more consistent.
How important, though, is, obviously you don't want to give up big plays, but he needs to play as opposed to just work on the practice field. How do you balance that?
Yeah, I think, I mean, with all these guys, the more you play, the better you're going to be, the more you're going to learn, the more you're going to experience. It's a fine line. I mean, we're trying to get the best 11 out there at a certain point in time, right? And we got to balance that as a coaching staff based on what we're doing schematically, based on what we're kind of asking those guys to do. But again, you want all these guys to be able to go out there and play and learn, and because ultimately they're going to learn more on Sunday than they do out here on the practice field just by being the exposure and the unknown and just playing the game and everything that comes with it, where it's not scripted and they know what's coming and how to play certain things.
Given all the
Mario come in so quickly and get that amount of snaps, and also how do you like that stunt that you're able to do with he and Danico Autry?
Yeah, I think he came in here hungry. I think he had a chip on his shoulder from whatever it was in Jacksonville to come in here. He had an opportunity to go out there and play, and I think he made the most of it. I think he plays hard. I think he's attacking. It's a bigger body out there for us, which is a little bit unique to what we've had. So I think he did a good job coming in here, getting ready to go, and then going and to execute and play. And him and Nico, they got a history. They're together in Oakland. You kind of see them around the building. They're together. I think they got a pretty good relationship, friendship. So it's no surprise they go out there on Sunday. They're able to execute something together because they have that history. They might have not repped that thing 1,000 times, but there's an understanding of what the guy inside's doing, what the guy outside doing, where they can make it work.
What's Samo done, I guess, in recent practices, in recent weeks, I guess, to get promoted?
Yeah, he just shows up. You turn the film on, you watch the show team, you watch special teams, you notice him. He's going hard. He's trying to play with technique and fundamentals. And if a guy practices like that, usually that correlates. You hope it correlates. And we talk about earning everything you get around here. And I think he's earned an opportunity to hopefully go out there and play. And I'm excited to kind of see where he is. How much pressure? Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll have to evaluate the reps as the game goes. Just what those guys are doing and what we're asking them to do in certain packages. I think their roles are going to be a little bit different depending on what we're playing.
There you go. That is Shane Bowen, Titans defensive coordinator. We'll talk about some of those things coming up next, but also the special teams coach was asked about the end of the first half. So now he has weighed in on it. You'll hear from him next. Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
185! Every team needs a quarterback. 185! That's why we have
Hasselbeck, bootleg, rollout, toss, touchdown!
Tim. ESPN NFL analyst Tim Hasselbeck gives his expertise on all things NFL.
How that team is built, I think there's a lot to like about it.
Every Tuesday at noon, Tim with Chase, Willy, and D-Mase. Presented by Red Spirits and Wine in Bellevue and BetUS.com on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Race fans, Falls. Nashville's legendary racetrack, the Fairgrounds Speedway, features the Big Machine Vodka Spiked Cooler Super Truck Championship. Awesome racing action with the Pro Late Models 100, the Super Trucks, Limited Late Models, Street Stocks, Pure Stocks, Front Runners, Legends, and Bandoleros. Get your tickets today at NashvilleFairgroundsSpeedway.racing and experience local racing's best at Nashville's legendary track. Get your tickets today. That's NashvilleFairgroundsSpeedway.racing.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus. Forecast today being the warmest of this entire week. A high of 85 degrees later on today. Low humidity, tons of sunshine, still no rain, but frost possible Saturday night into Sunday morning.
Brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
National Playmakers Academy with former Vols Buck Fitzgerald and James Stone, along with former Austin Peay Governor Vic Wright, offer one of the best football developmental organizations in the nation. MPA has over 30 NFL alumni, 800-plus college football scholarship signees, and 25 high school football All-Americans. If you have a student athlete in middle school or high school that is looking for the best football training and college football recruiting help around, contact National Playmakers Academy today, 615-456-2680, or email april.mpafootball@gmail.com.
This week's Nashville's best deal is Slingshot Me of Music City. Experience a whole new Nashville with the Polaris Slingshot rental. Let the amazing views take your breath away as you view the sights as never seen before in an open-aired auto cycle. These things are awesome. Get a 4-hour rental for only $115 at thegamenashville.com/deals. Slingshot Me of Music City is Nashville and Middle Tennessee's premier slingshot rental destination. Get half off now at thegamenashville.com/deals.
Contact Slingshot Me for any questions about rentals at 615-601-2829.
Are you kidding me? Gas prices are up again? Somebody has to do something.
Well, someone did. That's why I use Upside.
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that pays you back real money for every gallon of gas or diesel you buy. I just earned 25 cents back on every gallon of this tank.
So the Upside app is free and you actually get cash back every time you use it? No strings attached?
Yep, it's awesome. Check it out. It only takes a couple of minutes to sign up.
Instead of just watching your dollars go into your tank, start putting money back into your wallet with the free app from Upside. With the price of gas today, it's big news and big money. To cash out of your Upside cash, just transfer it to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card. Upside users have already earned over $200 million. Now it's your turn. Download the free Upside app and get cash back on every gallon of gas. Use promo code ESPN10 for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's code ESPN10. Use code ESPN10 for an extra 25 cents per gallon back in your first fill-up. Cashback's not available in gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Robbie Stanley.
They get a lead in that game and just totally close the door.
Joe Rexrode.
If he plays next year, it's disastrous.
Robbie and Rexrode. Mornings from 6 to 10 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app. This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McCabe, Willie Donick, not here. Derek Mason with you. Hanging out as I'm trying to do suit things while host a radio show. Suit things that I forgot to do. When the Preds have a weekday game this season, it's your chance to participate in Preds Pick to Click. It's brought to you by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty and Superbook Sports. If you guess a Preds player that scores a goal in the game that night, you win a pair of tickets to an upcoming Predators home game. Participate tomorrow morning at 8:45 with Robbie and Rexrode. So glad that Pick to Click is back. Going to be very cool. We started the show talking about the end of the first half for the Tennessee Titans and what happened with Ryan Tannehill, Mike Vrabel, everybody to blame. The special teams coordinator, Craig Aukerman, was asked about that earlier today.
In that situation, though, shouldn't you assume the worst, that it's fourth down, and rather than wait for the official to presume it's a first down?
I wouldn't necessarily say that, because if we assume it's fourth down and we start running our guys out there and then all of a sudden he signals for a first down, now we've got 5 or 6 guys coming from our field goal team out there. Our offense will be saying clock, clock, clock because it's first down. And that's the part we don't want to create, is that confusion. We want to definitely see if it's going to be a first or a fourth down signal. in order for us to get those guys out.
So what do you make of that?
He's right in that situation. You just don't want to rush them out. But, I mean, was there any hesitation by the ref? I don't think there was. I think that it was, they had signal fourth down. And it wasn't like they were talking amongst one another. To my knowledge, I could be wrong, but it seemed like he was short of the sticks. It was clearly fourth down. So if that's the case, then, you put your field goal team on the field. But again, I understand, with what he's saying. But, it's that whole thing was botched. And it starts with the head coach. Either you take the shot down the field, or you just say, you know what, it's 3rd and 1, let's just go for the points. Because again, as a player, I like the idea of it being 3rd and 1, but us taking a shot down the field or to the sideline. But as a coach, you got to think, okay, a bunch of things can go wrong right here. Let's take our time, get the clock down to like 3 seconds, and then spike the ball. Give our unit enough time to come on the field, and it's not this chaos. Come on the field in an orderly fashion with enough time and kick the field goal. Again, I go back to what I said. I think at that particular moment, Vrabel was thinking like his players. Like, okay, let's it's 3rd and 1. It seemed like enough time on the clock. Let's take a shot. Well, they didn't even call it a shot play, but let's get some more. Let's get a couple extra yardage. All else fails, throw it away. So the blame starts with Vrabel, and then it trickles down to everybody else. And unfortunately for Ryan, it trickles down to him because he was the one that tried to get a first down, didn't get it, got tackled in the field of play, and the field goal unit was not able to come on the field. As much as we are pointing at Tannehill, we need to be pointing at Vrabel. This is a Vrabel prop. This falls on a seat of Vrabel's, not Ryan. Ryan is just, it's almost like Ryan is just the vessel, but it's the head coach that chose to make that decision. Whereas he probably should have said, let's just go and take the points, going to half 27-10, and we'll be fine. But he didn't. So, but I know everybody is up in arms with the quarterback because his decision not to throw the ball away, which he should have. He shouldn't have tried to get the first down. That was sort of selfish of him to do because you don't know what's going to happen in that situation, So, right. But a big portion of the blame should go to the head coach. And I don't think many people are pointing at the head coach in that situation, and they should be.
Yeah, and I think that, everyone is trying to be not throw him under the bus, trying to be, professional about it. But I agree. The more that we have talked this out today, the more that I agree with you that, this is just an example of Vrabel overthinking things. And ultimately, it didn't cost him the game, but it cost him 3 points at the time.
It didn't. And I think sometimes people get to this point where, because I like the person, I can't blame the person or ask the person a tough question. No, yes, you can. I like Vrabel. I think he's, he and Robinson were the best thing that has happened to this franchise since Fisher and Floyd. They needed Robinson and Vrabel in order for this franchise to get back to respectability. And they've gotten to that point and even more. But that doesn't still mean we can't, question certain things that he does as a head coach or a GM. That means if I'm not questioning them, I don't care what they do. But because I do care, you question certain things that they do. You don't question everything, but just, well, why didn't you kick a field goal with 19 seconds there when you didn't have any timeouts? And you know in this league anything can happen. That's a question that you should ask. That shouldn't be on the quarterback, even though the quarterback did, try to run for the first down where he should have just threw the ball away. But ultimately, the question should be asked to the head coach. Well, why did you even put your quarterback in that position? That he's the scapegoat. And nobody's saying anything to Vrabel. Everybody's blaming it on Tannehill, where the blame honestly should be on Vrabel. They should have just kicked the field goal and went to half 27-10.
Something that I have a feeling is not going to go away until it's fixed, and we'll see if that happens this weekend. Coming up next, it's Silly Underdog Picks time. We will load up the panel. Cannot wait for that. And, one thing that's cool about Silly Underdog Picks is all of our lines come from Superbook Sports and the Superbook Sportsbook app. Can you beat Vegas this football season? Superbook Sports gives you the chance every week to go head-to-head with the best odds makers in Las Vegas. No fancy computer algorithms, no guys across the pond setting lines for American sports, just the best team of odds makers in the business behind the counter at the Superbook in Las Vegas. Plus, Superbook features some of the best odds, boosts, and promo bets anywhere. Tonight, obviously, we have a game, Colts-Broncos. Colts getting 3. I like the Broncos at home laying the 3. So there you can download your Superbook Sports app and place that bet. It's very easy. Or you can visit superbook.com and start your battle against Vegas right now. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789.
Stuck at work without a radio?
Wait a minute. Disastrous.
I hate that.
It's got to be there.
That's okay. Download the Game Nashville app or go to theGameNashville.com and listen live. We are Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3. The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Are you getting hit hard with higher costs and higher interest rates? Is your credit card rate going up every month? Hey, Willy Donick, how'd you like to wipe out those credit cards before the holidays? Call Loan Pronto. Your home equity can rescue you right now. Your home's value is still way up, and there's a ton of cash that you can get. Loan Pronto specializes in zero-cost cash-out home refis. Get tens of thousands in as little as 2 weeks. Pay off credit cards and consolidate everything into one super low payment. People who do this usually cut around $800 from their monthly budget. And even if your home mortgage rate goes up a little bit, it's offset by your credit card rate going to 0. When rates come back down, Loan Pronto will refinance you again for free. Call Loan Pronto. Do it now. You can even skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
3 decades of bluegrass, folk, country, and punk from one city, Los Angeles, where country rock was created and changed the world of popular music. Don't miss Western Edge, the roots and reverberations of Los Angeles country rock, a major exhibition at the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum, featuring artists from Buffalo Springfield and the Byrds, to Linda Ronstadt, the Eagles and Emmylou Harris, to the Blasters and Dwight Yoakam. Witness Western Edge today. The exhibit is presented by City National Bank.
The Nashville Oktoberfest is quickly approaching, and now's the time to get your dirndls, lederhosen, and party steins ready. From local breweries to live music and festival artisans, you can't go wrong celebrating this Germantown tradition. The Nashville Oktoberfest 2022, Thursday, October 6th through the 9th at Bicentennial Mall in Germantown. Prepare yourself for 4 days of brats, beer, live music, and competitions. VIP experience reservations are still available at thenashvilleoktoberfest.com. Prost, y'all!
If you missed the latest from Stillman and Company, delivered by TriStar Moving.
The idea that the Tennessee Volunteers are more popular in Nashville than the Titans is absolutely so preposterous on so many different levels that I could not believe that was what we were talking about today. And I'll go one step further and I'll say that, just here's the common sense of it. Nashville is a huge melting pot of SEC fans. So there's a lot of Alabama fans that live here. I don't know how this is. I used to live on a street where there was an Auburn flag on every other house. I know a bunch of Mississippi State fans randomly that live here.
Really?
Yeah, Ole Miss is big around here. Vanderbilt has some fans here.
Yeah,
all those fans root for the Titans. They all root for the Titans, and so do the Vol fans that live here. They all root for the Titans.
Do they?
Yeah.
Tune in Stillman and Company with Jared Stillman. Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6.
On ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. From the Hillside Medical Game Studios. WPRT-FM Pegram. WPUC HD2 Laverne. Broadcasting on Alexa.
I appreciate that.
And other smart speakers. 102.5 and 106.3.
Terang, it's a high fly ball.
We got pass rushers.
Awesome game. Checkered flag in the air.
The Game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Now let's see if we can bring them to life, all right?
Bringing you entertainment and informative sports talk during your workday.
Smart, funny, classy, and I like him a lot.
This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase with Chase McCabe, Willy Donick,
Mason, touchdown, Tennessee.
and former NFL wide receiver Derek Mason on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
This is a new level of geek you got going on here.
There's no need to fear. Underdog is here.
Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Almost had a false start there, but I stopped myself. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason here, Nick Keiser behind the glass. It is time for Silly Underdog Picks, and it is presented by Volunteer Hose and Gasket and Superbook Sports, voted #1 sportsbook in Vegas. Download their app today. Let's say hello to the panel. We have George Plaster, Kelly Holcomb, Chris Sanders on the line with us. And gentlemen, we have to start with this. I'm filing a formal complaint against the commissioner, one William Donick. I know this should not come as a surprise to anybody. He's in Prague in the Czech Republic, which we knew. We've known this for a while, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, with this didn't just pop up.
Yeah.
When do you? And so I said, look, I'll just read the results. I can do that. I can note everything for you since you're gone. I'll just, act as a player commissioner, whatever. When do you think I got the info from one Willy Donick?
1 minute ago. 5 minutes ago.
2 minutes ago. 2 minutes ago. Yes. Yeah, turn that trash off. He doesn't get his music today.
Well, it's your commissioner.
This is your commissioner speaking. From Prague.
Oh, man. Oh,
I
Willy.
think. Something like that. Anyway, the Silly Underdog Picks competition. It was an interesting week for sure with our panel. So let's start with Derek. He had the first pick last week, taking Purdue plus the 11.5 against Minnesota, and the Boilermakers get the win 20-10. So 11.5 points for Derek Mason.
Boom. Boom. That's all I got to say is boom. Just boom.
I told Willy we were ripping him, and he goes, what's new?
Man, I told y'all when I sent y'all that text. I said, man, I wake up, man. I'm just excellent. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not exactly what you said, but that's what we'll go with. Chris Sanders had the next pick, going with Boston College, taking on Louisville, 15.5 points. BC gets the win, 34-33, a barn burner, and another huge victory for one Chris Sanders.
Hey, D-Base, we just keep on winning, though.
Hey, man, that's all we do is win.
That's all we do.
It's receivers running down the field.
We just win, right?
That brings us to the handsome program director, Chase McCabe, taking Wake Forest, getting 7 points at Florida State. The Demon Deacons win it 31-21, so 7 points go in the column for me. Felt really good about that the whole way, so shout out to Wake Forest for getting that done. Now we move to the losers. Kelly Holcomb, South Florida, 9.5 points at taking on East Carolina. Did not work out for you there, Kelly.
Yeah, let's just move on. I mean, I can't. I was thinking when I picked up the phone and took the call, are we still doing this game? Obviously, I guess we are. Right?
We are. We are. It's not over yet. It's not over.
I mean, we got these prima donna wideouts that are just, I mean, everything that they've got going today. I mean, it's unbelievable. Like, they could pick a Fordham and almost win. It's unbelievable.
That brings us to Plaz, and there is a notation here that this was, in fact, our first Book It of the year. Plaz, I got to be honest with you. I thought you were going to win this. I thought this was a layup. Kentucky at Ole Miss, and it doesn't work out for the Wildcats, so no win for you, no points for a cover. Ole Miss wins 22-19.
What this really proves is that good things don't always happen to good people.
This is true. This is true. I
got totally hosed.
Oh, you did. I really thought that that was going to be a victory for you. You had the first NFL pick, and you did win that one.
Hold on a second, Chase.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I'm a little bit like Kelly. You know, I could pull out Siena, Wagner, Hofstra, teams that don't even have football programs, and because Chris or Derek pick them, hell, they find some bozo that they end up beating, and so when you do the standings, we're getting killed.
We
It's
are.
not totally fair.
That just shows you we know how to pick, man. That's, I mean, you know, sometimes you got to go outside the box to get the points.
Well, I think we need to go back to a rule I implemented once, which is you got to have stands on both sides of the field.
Look, I think we should just start using Kelly's strategy and picking games that have already started.
Yeah.
I'm into that, dude.
I'll give you my pick at the second half. How about that? Plaz did have the first NFL pick. He picked the Titans, getting 4 points on the road at the Colts. So that was a win for him, the only win out of the NFL picks. Kelly goes with
now I'm down, 52?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Not quite that much. Kelly picks the Dolphins plus 3.5. Obviously, a lot going on there with Tua. That did not work out for him against the Bengals. I went with Jacksonville plus 6.5 in Philadelphia. That didn't work out either, even though it was a fun game to watch. Chris goes with the Texans against the Chargers. The Texans are just awful. And then D-Mase takes the Rams against the Bills and did not get that one. So your standings, Chris Sanders at 5-4 with 68 points leads the competition. D-Mase is second, also at 5-4 with 52 points. I am at 3-6 in third place with 18.5. That is the gap right now.
You're really close.
Oh, wow.
I can see him. No, I can't. Kelly is in fourth place at 3-6 with 17, and Plaz also at 3-6 with 16.5. That is
Are you kidding
the
me?
current standings right now.
16.
Oh,
I wish
wow.
I was kidding, George, but I am not.
That's pitiful. But it's also, you know, who are they gonna play? Who are they gonna get this week? Hillwood, McGavock. I mean,
I don't.
Fort Valley State will be on somebody's record, I'm sure. Fort Valley State this week.
Is there a Division 4?
A Division 4? There might be. We may have to go with
You know,
that.
I asked this question a couple of weeks ago. Do these teams play tackle football?
8-man football.
On our online,
I like it.
Our online competition, which we've had great participation in that, George Welch, not George Plaster, was our winner with the picking 3 games, had 40 points on the week with the 3 games that he picked. The most selected game this week at 39% of the people playing online was Kentucky at Ole Miss. That was definitely the most selected game. And a lot of people that took Kentucky, obviously, were very upset by that. Iowa-Michigan was a widely selected game as well. How about this? Arkansas-Alabama was another one getting 20% of the picks from our online competition. And Wake Forest at Florida State had 25% as well. So you can participate online. Just go to thegamenashville.com, or you can download our app, and you can, try and be like Mase and Chris Sanders and win every week, or be like Kelly, George, and I and sit there and just, wonder about life. That's where we are at this point, gentlemen.
Yeah, and I got to give I give some props to D-Mase, but like Chris Sanders, I'm giving none. I mean, he throws darts at the dartboard to figure out what he's going to pick.
Yeah, I mean,
love
look.
Love you too, Kelly.
Chris, but here's the thing, Chris. Is look,
Stop loving all that stuff. We don't need all that.
the first time it happened, like, oh, that's cute. He threw one against the dartboard and it worked out. Like, that's great. But then, it keeps happening, and now it's not funny anymore.
It really isn't.
It's just kind of where
man,
we're
at. You just gotta face the facts. The man knows what he's doing. You know?
It is ruining the competition.
Hey, listen, Plas, he has a strategy. That's all I can say.
No, he doesn't. He goes and he finds a big underdog and goes, well, I hope this works. We'll see.
That's his strategy.
That's what he does. No strategy. Most point, that's what you go with.
All right. Coming up next, Silly Underdog Picks, Week 6. We will give our selections for that. I guess I should give to you the picking order that the commissioner has given to me. Chris will have the first pick, followed by yours truly.
That's what he needs.
I know, right? Well, it doesn't matter. None of us are going to have his game circled anyway. Chris will have the first pick, followed by me, then Kelly, then Plaz, then D-Mase. We'll have the wraparound into the NFL picks. We will do that coming up next. It's Silly Underdog Picks, presented by Volunteer Hose and Gasket and Superbook Sports here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Every Wednesday at noon.
No matter the down and distance and no matter the score, they're going to give him the football.
Outkick 360's Jonathan Hutton joins Chase, Willy, and D-Mase to talk all things Titans and NFL.
I hope that they're not throwing flags simply because the league wants to see more of them.
He's got opinions and insights on the two-tone blue.
They are not as good at wide receiver and the playmaking department.
Catch Hutton every Wednesday at noon. Presented by Blend Bar with Davidoff Cigars on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, it's Jared. If you're listening to us on I-24 towards Murfreesboro or I-65 towards Spring Hill, make sure you check out 106.3 for another great way to hear Nashville's best sports talk.
What's up, everybody? It's me, Michelle Knezvik, and I'll be at Broadway Brewhouse, 317 Broadway downtown, Saturday for the SEC Game of the Week, presented by BettingHero.com. Come join us and learn how to place a risk-free bet on the Auburn-Georgia game. The fun starts at 2:30.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
There's no place like the #1 sports bar to finish out baseball season. Which team are you batting for? Twin Peaks in Cool Springs. Made from scratch food, signature 29-degree draft beers, and all the scenic views. It is now clear the devastation that Hurricane Ian has delivered to Puerto Rico, Florida, and parts of our East Coast. Volunteers and organizations from our hometown are helping. The need really is for money to help those hardest hit. If you can, Cromwell Media encourages us all to donate to your favorite service organization. If you don't have one, choose redcross.org. America always helps around the world. Now is a time to help our neighbors here at home.
This week's Nashville's best deal is Slingshot Me of Music City. Experience a whole new Nashville with the Polaris Slingshot rental. Let the amazing views take your breath away as you view the sights as never seen before in an open-aired auto cycle. These things are awesome. Get a 4-hour rental for only $115 at thegamenashville.com/deals. Slingshot Me of Music City is Nashville and Middle Tennessee's premier slingshot rental destination. Get half off now at thegamenashville.com/deals.
Contact Slingshot Me for any questions about rentals at 615-601-2829.
It's on. It's happening. Remember, you can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. Get out of the way. I'm watching the game. Presented by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. I'm ready to step this up a notch. You're listening to Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Silly Underdog Picks, presented by Volunteer Hose and Gasket and Superbook Sports. Chase and Derek back here. Willy is gallivanting in Prague, and we bring back in George Plaster, Kelly Holcomb, Chris Sanders, our panel. And George, I understand I'm picking with you guys this afternoon.
Yes, I'm also in last place in that competition.
Well, I'm glad you're on brand. That's good. All right, that leads us to week number 6, and having the first pick is Chris Sanders.
Yes, sir.
Of course.
All right, here we go. This is my pick, and I think it's going to hit. I'm going to go with Indiana over Michigan, plus 22.
Yeah, that's not going to hit.
Wow.
Gosh.
I looked at that game.
It's year 2022. That's what I picked.
I looked at that game.
That's his strategy.
And Michigan
Don't
didn't
say
play.
you looked at that game.
No,
Bad on you. Don't say you looked at that game.
No, because the way Michigan played last week.
Yep, absolutely.
So I'm not too sold on Michigan after last week's. Now they blew people out by 50
No
points.
points for a cover, guys. No points for a cover.
I know.
All right, Indiana is getting plus 22. They are at home against Michigan. So that is Chris Sanders' pick. All right, we'll see. That leads us to yours truly.
Behold the king.
Not quite.
The king of kings. On your knees.
So I'm going to go with another home dog because, as my pal Rick says, home dogs bark louder. Give me Northwestern getting 10 against Wisconsin. I will take Northwestern. Anybody have that? Anybody?
It's a good pick. Wisconsin sucks.
Yeah, I saw that one.
I need point. I mean, George, Kelly. Look, we need points at this point. So whatever.
Well, yeah.
That's kind of where
Don't know
we're
if
at.
that's going to happen, Chase.
No.
Yeah, that's where we're at, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. So.
Yeah, don't know about that. All right, have you guys noticed that I'm a little more efficient than the commissioner? We move along.
Very much so.
We're moving along.
The program is going way more efficient.
Thank you. Shout out to the general. That brings us to Kelly Holcomb.
We can skin a buck and run a trot line, and a country boy can survive. Country folks can survive. Country boy can survive. Country folks can survive.
I done got me some new boots for hunting season.
Do you wear boots for hunting season?
Yeah.
You're so dumb, George. Okay, so I think I said this a couple of weeks ago.
Look,
but if
you get what you
wins that
pay
one,
for.
I could possibly tender my resignation for this game. I could. So I think I'm going to go with. I want to say Arkansas beats Mississippi State.
Okay, I looked at that one. Arkansas is getting 9.5 on the Superbook
Ground and
Sports.
pound, baby. Let's go Hogs.
Woo pig. So Kelly, in need of points, goes with Arkansas plus 9.5. That leads us to the director, George Plaster.
Hey, Chase.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you how ridiculous this has got. Okay? So I'm looking right now at another site which does not sponsor your show but has what are referred to as other games. Okay? These are kind of Chris Sanders kind of games. For instance, it says here that Holy Cross is a 31-point favorite over Bucknell. Okay?
Okay.
Here's another one. Incarnate Word by 27.5 over poor old Lamar.
You better pick it then, George.
Okay. Here's another one. Southeast Louisiana is 24.5 over Texas A&M Commerce. What the hell is the difference between Commerce and A&M?
I couldn't tell you.
I don't know.
I mean,
The A and the
this
M?
is what they've done to this competition. Central Arkansas is 24 over something called Lindenwood. Is this really where we want this to go?
Hey, man, we're picking games. We're trying to win.
I believe, and I think Kelly agrees with me, that we need to take these Fordhams and all these and throw them out.
Man, you can't do
Well,
that.
Fordham didn't win.
Exactly. Fordham didn't win.
And I believe they
Yeah, but
and they got a football team.
Flurry of texts, which
Yeah.
is just as bad.
Well, you don't have to worry about that because Willy's in Prague.
Yeah. And it was a sold-out stadium there at Fordham in that game.
Yeah, everybody was lined up.
What was the attendance at that game, Derek?
2,200.
Hey, 500.
It was
but,
played.
hey.
It was played at BGA. What does BGA hold?
I'm not going there. I tell you where I am going, though.
Okay.
I'm going BYU. Notre Dame's a fraud.
All right, BYU. As I scroll through here looking for that, I agree. Notre Dame is a fraud. They're not very good. Brian Kelly got out at the right time. And 3.5. So BYU is a 3.5-point dog on the road at Notre Dame. So George,
At this rate, if I win the next 25 of these in a row by next April, I'll catch somebody.
Yeah.
George, a message from one Greg Pogue. He says Lindenwood is the newest member of the OVC.
See? Ha, 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 ha.
There you go.
Yes. Gotcha.
Great.
There you go. From Pogue, that's great.
Thank you, Poe.
That leads.
Are you allowed to bring up Poggy?
Yeah, he calls our games. He calls TSU games with Chris on 94.9 The Fan.
Absolutely.
So, sort of cross-pollinating
So something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
from one station to another.
Yeah. Well, it happens. That's what we do. Moving on. That brings us to Derek Mason.
Boom.
Just make your pick.
Why you hating on me? Gosh, man.
This
All
is
right.
what happens when the competition gets to this point in time, okay?
All right. I'm surprised many didn't even look at this or didn't even think about it. I think USC up to this point hasn't played a soul, and they've been blowing people out. Washington has played some tough games, Washington State, rather. I'm going Washington State over USC.
Washington State getting 12.5 on the road at Southern Cal. So Derek has made his selection. 12.5 going for another big one. That leads us into the NFL, where Derek will have the first pick.
I just had my game. I'm going with Seattle. They're a 5-point dog versus the Saints.
5.5 on
5.5.
the Superbook Sports app. So Seahawks.
Geno is ready.
Geno's been okay.
Geno's been good for that team. Who's quarterback in the Saints? I don't know.
Kelly.
Holcomb?
Yeah,
Kelly
is. Congratulations,
Yeah,
Kelly.
no, not me.
Well, if Kelly going to wear those boots, Seattle's definitely winning.
That leads us to George Plaster with his NFL pick.
A lot of stammering here. Dallas.
Dang it.
That's who you had, Chase?
Yeah.
Whew.
Cowboys getting 5.5 on the road against the Rams. And that leads us to Kelly Holcomb.
Can the Eagles keep it up, man? I mean, I know they're really good, but can they keep it up? I'm just, I don't know. I'm not so sure. I say Arizona beats Philly.
All right. The Cardinals also getting 5.5 at home against the red-hot Eagles. And I'm not sure. I agree with you that one is that is a tough one because the Eagles I think are going to come down to earth at some point in time. So I think that is a good pick. All right, that leads us to me with the first one. I think there is a team I think the NFC North is just not very good. And I think there's a team that is a fraud, and it's the Minnesota Vikings. They're coming off the London game, have a little jet lag. I will take the Bears plus 7.5.
It's a good one.
Thank you. And finally, that leads us to Chris Sanders.
I am going to go with the Houston Texans over Jacksonville.
Somehow I knew that's where you were going to go.
That was coming.
Texans getting 7 on the road in Jacksonville. So he goes. You picked the Texans a lot.
They're going to win. A lot. I believe in them.
Yeah, I'm glad somebody does.
Yeah.
You're the one. All right.
It only takes one.
Let's review the picks. Week 6 in the Silly Underdog Picks competition. First up in the college ranks, Chris Sanders taking the Hoosiers of Indiana, getting 22 against the Michigan Wolverines. Once again, he goes deep and is going with the Hoosiers. That leads us to yours truly, Chase McCabe, Northwestern getting 10 points, as I believe home dogs bark louder, just like Chris does in that pick. So I go with Northwestern. Kelly Holcomb was next up. Arkansas getting 9.5 against Mississippi State. Arkansas looking to get off the schneid after a couple of rough weeks as they will take on Mississippi State. Plaz thinks Notre Dame is a fraud, taking the Cougars of BYU, getting 3.5 points there. D-Mase goes with Washington State. A texter on my text line says he likes that pick.
Okay.
Washington State plus 12.5 against USC. Derek believes USC has not played anyone as of yet. That leads us into the NFL. Derek had the next pick going with the Seattle Seahawks and Geno Smith taking on the New Orleans Saints, coming off a London game as well, plus 5.5 for the Seahawks. Plaz steals my pick, goes with the Cowboys, plus 5.5 against the Rams. Rams trying to figure it out. Cowboys have been red hot. Kelly Holcomb, can the Eagles come down to earth? He takes the Cardinals, plus 5.5 against Philly. I go to the NFC North. Vikings coming off a win in London. I take the Bears, plus 7.5 against Minnesota. And Chris Sanders, a matchup out of the AFC South. The Texans, plus 7 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. You can play online by going to theGameNashville.com. And gentlemen, as Willie says, good luck.
Yeah,
whatever. Don't call me next week either. How about that?
Hey, good
Well,
luck,
we'll miss
everybody.
you.
I wish each and every one of y'all nothing but happiness. Okay.
You know
Whatever,
what?
Derek.
Stuff.
Take that on somewhere.
You don't care
Wow.
whether we're happy. You know, and when Fordham wins, you'll send us this text. Hello, is it me you're looking for? Kelly, have you gotten any of those?
What's that?
Have you gotten any of those texts?
Oh, yeah. I get them all the time. I mean, I have to hear that crap all the time.
You know what? It's like
he gloats all the time.
Right now, when I get that, it's like student loan forgiveness.
Hey, listen, love overcomes all, okay?
Absolutely.
No, it doesn't.
Not this, it doesn't.
Boys, have a fantastic weekend, and
You too, bro.
George, I'll talk to you at 5, where we'll talk about other radio stations and things.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Derek, Chris, even though I think you're breaking the rules, I'm happy for you if it makes you happy.
Like that.
Oh, my God.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Peace out.
George Plaster, Chris Sanders, Derek Mason, Kelly Holcomb, yours truly, Silly Underdog Picks. Just go to theGameNashville.com. Coming up next, I have a crazy thought that has popped in my head when it comes to the Vols. I will tell Derek that. We'll discuss that coming up next. But first, he has a thought on Cool Springs MD.
Absolutely. It was nice talking with those gentlemen. I always get a good laugh. So from those gentlemen to the gentlemen that are listening now, I need to tell y'all something. and it's about Cool Springs MD. Over the years, more men have started to seek help for hormone deficiencies and imbalances, and Dr. Jeffrey Lodge and his wife Daphne, along with their experienced staff, give men the treatment required to improve their quality of life. Cool Springs MD services have already helped many men in the Brentwood, Nashville, and the surrounding areas in Tennessee with improving their immune systems, energy levels, cognitive functions, and more. They are there to connect you with the medical care you require to have a healthy and enriched life. And who doesn't? For men, give Dr. Jeffrey Lodge and Cool Springs MD a call today for an appointment at 615-486-3458. That's 615-486-3458. Or visit our website at coolspringsmd.com.
Hey, Preds fans.
Running across to make the save is Zero.
You can now hear Nashville's best sports talk.
The backhander, he scores!
And every Predators game on 106.3 FM.
Well, that was a thing of beauty.
From downtown Nashville to Rutherford and Williamson counties.
Duchesne with the overtime winner.
Catch all the action on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
Winning this award is truly like winning the Super Bowl of car dealer awards for Mercedes-Benz.
Edwin Vickery, General Manager of Mercedes-Benz of Music City.
Culture eats strategy for lunch. You have to hit on all cylinders to win this award. You can strategize all you want. You got to still have the right tools, and our tools are our people.
Live the dream with 3-time Mercedes-Benz Best of the Best Award winner, Mercedes-Benz of Music City. Go to mbofmc.com.
When I came to Genesis, I was completely shocked and surprised.
That's Tara Michelle, but like so many of her customers, she's made the switch to Genesis.
Now working at Genesis, I'm able to offer my customers more inventory, more selection, better pricing, better warranties and guarantees.
And Tara loves that now she's got access to the top designers and all the latest ring styles, over 4,000 choices.
The picture that she's captured on Instagram, they show me that picture. I don't have just one option for them, I have plenty. And we're going to hit it out of the park every single time. I'm not only getting the customers exactly what they want style-wise, but the price is going to be unbeatable. Without a doubt, hands down.
And unlike the other stores, Tara's not working on commission at Genesis, so less stress for everyone.
I'm not putting pressure on the customer to purchase because no one's putting pressure on me to sell. I have the freedom to make it a personal experience for them.
Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Hey, Robbie Stanley here, and you can start NFL Week 5 off the right way with a no-sweat same-game parlay from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. It doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or already have an account. You'll get free bets back if your Thursday night same-game parlay doesn't hit. NFL same-game parlays are the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payday. You got the Colts and the Broncos coming up. Give me the Broncos on the money line. Give me Russell Wilson under on passing yards. You can build your own or choose from one of the popular same-game parlays pre-built for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. Just sign up with promo code ROB if you don't already have an account. If you already have FanDuel, you're all set. Just sign in to see what you've got. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. 3+ legs, minimum $1 bet required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. A max free bet of $5. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Got a gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Lift it, load it, grade it, grind it, move it, haul it, rig it, dig it, Craneworks Rental Works, yeah! The big dog's got it.
Craneworks, the Southeast leader for crane and equipment rental, is looking for the best in the business to fill positions as qualified operators, truck drivers, and mechanics. Craneworks provides superior customer service and a superior work environment. Start lifting Nashville to new heights and apply today at craneworks.com/careers. That's craneworks.com/careers.
Jonathan Hutton.
You have to put the ball in his hands in that moment.
And Chad Withrow.
My kicker's making no decisions on a football team.
Are in the game. Join them for NFL postgame after every Titans home game, live from Landshark Bar and Grill in Margaritaville on Broadway. They'll break down that day's game and look ahead to the next one. NFL postgame is presented by Two Rivers Ford, Renter's Warehouse, and Superbook Sports on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, it's Max Kellerman, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
You know, and as the SEC slate does open up for you all with this bye week, what has been that main focus with this team as you look to kind of build off what you all have been able to do in September?
Yeah, you're only as good as your next one in this game, and you can continue to look at college scores, your preparation, your competitive spirit all week, but then also on game day. There's no way in this game you can just flip a switch on Saturday and show up and play the way that you want to. So preparation's everything. Our players have gotten so much better in that. Expect them to handle the week the right way. This is a really good football team. Be a great environment. It's always tough to win on the road inside of this league, and this is our next opportunity.
Tennessee head coach Josh Heupel talking about the SEC play and their next opportunity. Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, Chase McCabe, Derek Mason hanging out here with you on a Thursday. Eddie George going to join us today at 1 o'clock since our schedule's a little different tomorrow. So we'll talk to the former Titan and TSU head coach coming up in about 25 minutes, and then ask D-Mase after that. So getting a lot of our Friday stuff in today. I think I'm going to have to give some picks too. I don't have the results though from Willy. We'll have to get that. But anyway, Josh Heupel and the Vols.
Yeah.
I have gotten to a point where I think I might be a little crazy. So here's why.
Okay.
They got to win this weekend. I mean, this is a big game for them. Going on the road in a tough place to play at LSU. It's an 11 o'clock game. I was really hoping it would be a night game. Going to be a fun environment. So you got to go take care of business. But Derek, I'm starting to convince myself. I don't know if I've been hanging out with your drunk eagle or what. I'm starting to convince myself that they're going to beat either Alabama or Georgia. That they're for sure going to beat one of the two. And I don't know if I'm just – you've been saying they're going to beat Georgia, so you're kind of right there with me. But the more I watch them, I don't think they've even hit their full stride yet. But Hendon Hooker, now everybody wants to talk about Hendon Hooker for the Heisman. I've been bringing this up since July. And I'm not trying to pat myself on the back or anything, but – I thought this could very well be a possibility. Now, he's got to get some signature wins outside of Florida and LSU. I mean, beating Alabama or beating Georgia, being competitive in the one that maybe you don't win is going to help his case for sure. And, some of these other wins that they've had need to look good as the season goes on. But I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm drinking the Josh Heupel orange Kool-Aid. And now everybody's looking at Hendon Hooker and thinking, okay, he really could be in contention for the Heisman. And those odds have just gone down and down and down. I mean, he's probably top 4 now. But I've convinced myself that I believe they're going to beat one of the two. It's going to happen.
I mean, it's not, a far-fetched thing to say that, UT would – beat Alabama in Knoxville or, beat Georgia in Athens. It's because I can see at the beginning of the season or, during the preseason, before the season, they don't have any preseason games, but preseason or at all these SEC meetings and everything else, and you look at UT's team and you say, well, they have no chance at all to beat Alabama or Georgia, because you're just looking at both Alabama and Georgia and then comparing them to UT and what UT has been and what Alabama has and what Georgia has as far as personnel players. But then you go into the season and you start to see these teams play and you say like, wow, this Vol team, they seem like they're really good. Let me watch a few more games. Oh, wow. That Hendon Hooker guy, man, goodness, he's good. Tillman, goodness, he's good. They got receiver. Oh, my goodness. This Josh Heupel offense is just, wonderful. I mean, they're scoring points up and down. Their defenses, they're okay. They're not great, but how many great defenses are there in college football? Not many, maybe one or two really stout defenses. Then you start to believe, like, man, this team is legit. Then they go beat Pitt in Pitt. Oh, wow, okay. Then they beat, regardless of what the records were, they beat Florida. That game's always a tough game. And you think, like, okay, this team is good. So to me, it's not far-fetched to think that UT can beat either one of those teams, especially with what Alabama's dealing with. There was, even before the quarterback gets hurt, Alabama, they still didn't seem like the Alabama team, in previous years. They didn't have those explosive playmakers on the outside like they had in previous years. So you start to wonder, can this team, really go up and down the field against a really good team? We saw what Texas was able to do to them. If Texas doesn't lose both of their quarterbacks, they may win that game. So, and now their quarterback's hurt. So you kind of figure Alabama's a little bit vulnerable. And that's who UT plays after LSU. It's Alabama. You're catching them in a vulnerable situation.
Sure.
Can they be beat? Absolutely. Then you think about Georgia. Well, can Georgia be beat? This is a stout team. They've gotten better. They played a close game last week, but this is still a good team. Well, to me, UT still has an opportunity to win because of what they can do on offense. Now, I'm a little bit worried about that defensive line because they hadn't been able to get pressure against anyone. How do they generate pressure against an Alabama or Georgia or even a Kentucky? That's the part I'm a little bit worried about. But I think they can overcome possibly a Kentucky because of their offense. I think that maybe they can overcome an Alabama because Bryce Young, we don't know if he'll be fully healthy or not or ready for that game. I got them beating Georgia, but that's going to be an uphill battle for them. Playing in Georgia, that team's red hot, even though they had a close game last week. I think that game, along with the Alabama game, is going to be a true measuring stick for them. And to me, I still believe they're going to beat Georgia. But the way Alabama's looking too, without Bryce Young, I think they're going to beat Alabama in Knoxville. If Alabama doesn't get their quarterback back before the UT game, then I'm picking the Vols to win that game.
Could you imagine? I mean, you'll take it however you get it, even if it's without Bryce Young.
Listen, if the Vols win that game, say they win this weekend, which I do believe they're going to win. I mean, it took 21 points in the second half, I believe, for LSU to win a close game against Auburn, and Auburn's not a good team. If they beat LSU, come back here to Knoxville, beat Alabama, obviously they'll have to beat Kentucky. Man, you know how big that Georgia game is going to be?
Huge.
It's game of the week.
Absolutely. I mean, it'll be CBS.
Yeah.
They'll pick it up. Wes Rucker reporting Vols coach Josh Heupel said Cedric Tillman is moving around right now and that a decision on his availability for the LSU game will be made tomorrow.
Is he walking to class? Is he moving around in his dorm?
I don't know
What does that mean?
I don't know exactly what that means, but that's a good sign. I mean, look, if they have him back for LSU, that's huge.
Yeah, it's big. That's the number one pass catcher. Even though Hyatt has done an excellent job, but Tillman's, he's the guy. And they need him. They need him in this game and moving forward if they're going to beat Alabama and Georgia.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, look, I bet, like I said, I am drinking the Kool-Aid on Josh Heupel. Joe Rexroad from Robbie and Rexroad did a cool story on him and on the Vols that we'll discuss coming up next from The Athletic. But can you beat Vegas this football season? Superbook Sports gives you the chance every week to go head-to-head with the best odds makers in Las Vegas. These are the professionals. They're not using any type of computer algorithm. It's not anybody across the pond offshore setting the lines. This is just the best team of legit odds makers in the business behind the counter at the Superbook in Las Vegas. Plus, they have some of the best odds boosts anywhere and promo bets as well. I love taking advantage of those. If you're looking to do something tonight, Indianapolis, a 3-point dog on the road at Denver. I like the home team. I like Denver minus the 3 tonight on Thursday night. So download the Superbook Sports app. Do like I do. Make it your official sportsbook, or you can visit superbook.com and start your battle against Vegas right now. Just visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. If you got a gambling problem, call 1-800-889-9789.
Want the latest on college football and Nashville sports?
He looks like 1,000 quarterbacks I've seen in a college game.
Join Outkick 360's Chad Withrow every Friday at 5 with Stillman and Company.
The coaching staff kept him and got rid of the other guys.
He'll bring opinions and charisma for a full half hour every week.
If he's so great in the locker room, then give him a coaching gig.
Chad Withrow is presented by Two Rivers Ford. Custom order your new Ford from Two Rivers Ford on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus. Forecast today being the warmest of this entire week. A high of 85 degrees later on today. Low humidity, tons of sunshine, still no rain, but frost possible Saturday night into Sunday morning.
Brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Finishing jobs on time, never being idle, and powerful equipment. Meade has the John Deere excavating equipment and the smart grade technology solutions for you and your business. Power your business with a new, used, or rented excavator and get the performance you expect and service you can rely on. Call us today for the equipment built as tough and reliable as you, or visit us at meadtractor.com. That's meadtractor.com.
In 1972, a Nashville family business story began when Bill and Beverly Finley founded Volunteer Hose and Gasket. 3 generations have grown the business into the local industry leader supplying just about anything to anybody, from the largest of contractors to your neighbor that mows his own yard. Over 1 million items in stock: belts, belting accessories, gaskets, gauges, hose fittings, hydraulics, industrial hoses, lubricants, sealing products, tubing, fire protection, and more. All at volunteerhose.net. If Volunteer Hose and Gasket doesn't have it, then you probably don't need it. Call them at 615-242-0461.
Harman Energy is now hiring drivers for their Nashville team. Harman Energy is Tennessee's petroleum solution for major industries. Right now, they're offering competitive compensation. Fuel tank wagon drivers start at $26 an hour. Fuel transport drivers, $29 an hour. Plus, there's a $4,000 sign-on bonus for CDL drivers. Top quality benefits and a great place to work, Harman Energy employees provide totally outrageous customer service. Come be an employee owner with the Harman team. Apply now at harmanenergy.com.
Jared Stillman.
This is a team that the entire city is losing their minds over.
Caroline Fenton.
It's one of the youngest teams in the league. They don't have a single player over the age of 30.
Stillman and Company. Afternoons from 2 to 6.
Presented by TriStar Moving.
On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app. This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. We'll have Ask D-Mase coming up at 1:15. Eddie George before that. Reminder, tune in for the NFL pregame this Sunday live at Twin Peaks at 6134 Galleria Boulevard in Cool Springs. You can join Jared Stillman plus D-Mase and Chris Sanders from 9:30 to 11:30 prior to the Titans taking on the Washington Commanders. Love Twin Peaks. Great food. A lot of fun. The NFL pregame is brought to you by TriStar Moving, Parman Tractor and Equipment, Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, and Superbook Sports, and An Ounce of Hope Cannabis Company. Talking about the Vols, and Joe Rexroth did an awesome piece on The Athletic on Josh Heupel, and the headline says Josh Heupel wants to do for Tennessee what he was supposed to do at Oklahoma. And look, it's well documented that that was a place that he was very near and dear to him. He transferred there as a junior college quarterback, led them to a national championship as their quarterback, was on the staff, and things went sideways. And I think it's something that Heupel has used as motivation in his coaching career in every stop that he has had along the way. And that, is hard for him, that he's not, that after winning a championship as a quarterback, that he never became the head coach there. But now I think he's wanting to do that at Tennessee. And Derek, he's off to a tremendous start, 7-5 in his first year. Obviously had the bowl loss here in Nashville, but to start the season 4-0 in year number 2, bringing that high-octane offense, having a quarterback that's in the Heisman conversation, and, having people like us sit here and go, are the Vols back? Could they potentially beat an Alabama or a Georgia? I think he's off to a great start.
Yeah, he is. I look back at his career as a head coach, short career as a head coach. Obviously, we all know what he was able to do at UCF that first season, losing 1 game, then a second season ended up losing 3. And then he sort of, after that, 6-4 and got out of there. So he ended up with a 28-8 record overall. Then he comes to UT. They go 7-6 the first year, 4-4, much better, I believe, than the year previously. And then he starts off the season 4-0 with two big wins, I think, for the program. Not a Alabama, Georgia win, but they're still big wins for a young coach in such a young tenure in his coaching career there at UT. So he gets 2 big wins, has to go down to Pitt, up to Pitt and play, tough environment, and then has to play Florida in a tough environment at home. And they pulled out victory. So I believe he's right on track with what he wants to accomplish with this program and this football team. And the next step is to go down to Baton Rouge and beat a okay LSU team, but you're playing them at their place. So they're just coming off a close win against Auburn. It's going to be a frenzy down there. It's going to be a packed house. So this is also another big opportunity for not just him, but his players to pick up a win in a hostile environment. So, I think they're going to do it. But, it's one thing to say they are, and then it's another to actually go out there and play the game.
One thing that I thought was kind of cool is, and Joe did a great job talking to a bunch of different people, but he talked to Danny White, who's the athletic director at Tennessee, and Danny White kind of took him through the process of, initially he wanted to leave Josh Heupel alone because they were both at UCF. Danny White leaves UCF to go to Tennessee, and he, had enough respect for the university that he didn't want to take their head football coach too, but kind of goes through what changed with that process and, this knowing that the being able to bring that offense to Tennessee was going to be able to really help things and propel Tennessee back to where it needed to be. And, Heupel comes in. He's taking over a program that was in shambles because of Jeremy Pruitt and what had all happened there. So Danny White basically says, as he's going through this process, I was trying to find the quote, Cameron Walker, who is one of White's deputy athletic directors at UT, said to him, quote, "The reason Tennessee hired you is because you're good at hiring coaches, right? So why wouldn't you hire someone you've already hired?" And that's what kind of changed his mind on Josh Heupel. And, we've made these connections to Danny White and coaches that he's hired in the past. But and I think there were questions with Heupel because UCF had been, such a high-octane program and had done so well, Scott Frost and what he did there. And then it kind of took a bit of a dip under Heupel. But you knew offensively that it was going to be fun to watch. And with some of the players that UT was going to be able to get, you thought that he was going to be able to have the success. And so far it's been pretty good. But, the question was, could Josh Heupel win at Tennessee? Now, he's got to improve on 7-5. They're only 4 games into this season. They could very well go down to Baton Rouge and get beat, and then things spiral out of control. Do I feel like that's really going to happen? No. I think they're going to go win. I think they're going to be 5-0, and then The real test will be, can you beat Alabama? Can you beat Georgia? Can you compete? Last year it came down to the wire with them, and it was really the fourth quarter against Alabama where everything got away. But you watch that game as a whole, they were competitive.
Back and forth. That was a back and forth game for the most part. 90% of the game was back and forth, and UT was still in it. And it wasn't until the fourth quarter where I think they may have had some turnovers, and Alabama just took the game and they ran away with it late. But I'm in agreement, with hey, listen, I'm here to hire good coaches. Well, I was at a program that had a good coach in Josh Heupel at UCF. So why wouldn't I approach him about being my coach here at UT? Now, it took a couple of years, but yeah, he did it. And I think what he understood, what Danny White understands, is that, it's all about offense now throughout the league. It's all about, whether it be the NFL or college football, it's all about offense. If you could put up a high-octane offense, then you're going to win more games than not. You got to have some remnants of a defense. But again, like I said last hour, how many teams have that just stout defense? There's not many, maybe a handful of them. And you're going to run into two of them at least with Alabama and Georgia. Alabama defense hasn't been that stout, but they've been good, and they're always going to be good under Nick Saban. But he understands that offenses generate, excitement, and also it gets you those recruits that you're competing with Alabama and Georgia, because all of them can't go to Alabama, Georgia, USC, or whatever college. They want to go to a program, especially these offensive players, whether it be quarterback, running back, or tight end receiver. They want to go to programs that are explosive programs that can help them further their, dream of playing in the NFL. So why not hire Josh Heupel, who has this awesome offense? Now you're going to be able to get these 4- and 5-star players. You're not going to get, all of them, but you're going to get some, because now they're looking at it like, man, I can go here. I can compete in the SEC. I can play on national television. I'm playing for historic, one of the historic programs in college football, and they're scoring a lot of points. Man, I'm going there. Or at least they're going to be on my list of places to go. So now, not only is he a good coach in regards to offense, he's getting the players. Now it makes his job a little bit easier once you go out there on Saturdays. Now you feel you can go toe-to-toe with the Georgia in regards to scoring. You can go toe-to-toe with Alabama. You can go toe-to-toe with, whatever other team out there that you deem is a top-tier team. Ohio State, you can go toe-to-toe with them. You can go toe-to-toe with Michigan if you do play them in the playoffs. But they do have to work on their defense. But I think they got the right guy at the right time for this program. I truly believe. Now, again, it can turn around, like you said, but I think as far as the excitement for UT, I think they got the right coach.
Coming up next, we're going to talk to Derek's former teammate, TSU football coach Eddie George, going to join us. That's coming up here. Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
You love the game.
Predators win it in overtime. Touchdown, Tennessee.
We live the game.
My quarterback needs me to step up.
He can make a defense pay. We got pass rushers.
Checkered flag in the air.
Awesome game 7.
What a stop made by UC Sarah.
The Game. Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Hey football fans, Patrick Mahomes here, and I'm here to tell you that with NFL Sunday Ticket only on DirecTV, you can watch your favorite team no matter where you live. Because NFL Sunday Ticket gives you every live out-of-market game every Sunday afternoon. So switch to DirecTV and learn how to get the 2022 NFL Sunday Ticket season included at no extra cost. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
With choice package and above, 24-month agreement required. Call for details.
Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith. Hall of Famer and all-time leading rusher with exciting news.
If you suffer from chronic joint pain, Emmett Smith wants to introduce you to QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in biologic treatment for pain. I'm talking regenerative solutions that encourage your body to heal and repair itself. No medications, no surgeries, no downtime.
If you have pain in your knees, hips, lower back, and shoulders, don't assume the old treatments are the only treatments. Learn more about how you can get lasting relief with biologic treatments that can repair and restore damaged tissue.
Call to learn more about this exciting natural way to deal with chronic joint pain. Play golf without pain, walk upstairs without pain, play with your kids and grandkids without pain, get back on your job without pain, live your life pain-free. Call QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024. 615-249-4024.
MTSU football is back in action inside Floyd Stadium Saturday, October 15th to host longtime Conference USA foe from just 100 miles away, the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. MTSU invites alums, friends, and family to join them in the winner's circle for the 2022 homecoming game. Celebrate the day at the annual homecoming parade at 10 a.m., tailgate, and then enjoy a 2:30 p.m. kickoff. Grab your seat today. To purchase tickets, visit goblueraiders.com/tickets. Middle Tennessee, we are Blue Knighted.
Football is finally here, and if you're out at Nissan Stadium for a tailgate, catching kickoff at your favorite bar, or just curled up on the couch, be sure you're sipping on a Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Hey, what's up? It's Chase McCabe. By now, you all got to know how much I love Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Game days can get pretty busy. I'm always sure to unwind with a chilled Screwball. There's nothing like it. Be sure to make Screwball your official drink of choice this season, just like me, the suit. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022 Screwball Spirits LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required. Refund available for 60 days after purchase.
Guys, want an effective, affordable way to get ED medication 100% online? Whether you're looking for Viagra or Cialis, or generic medications as effective as Viagra but 90% cheaper, you can find it all through HIMS. HIMS is your go-to for doctor-trusted treatments to help you treat ED. Get ED treatment for as low as $3 per use and save up to $1,000 per month with generic for Viagra versus the brand name at 4hims.com/radio. If prescribed, your medication will be shipped to your door in discreet packaging. Do it all online. No in-person appointments. Get hard results with HIMS or your money back. Go to 4hims.com/radio to get your first visit free. That's 4hims.com/radio to get started free. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne.
Robbie and Rex Road, Chase, Willy, and D-Mase.
Stone Company. Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3.
Terang, it's a high fly ball.
We got pass rushes. Awesome game 7.
Checkered flag in the air.
The game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Now let's see if we can bring them to life, all right?
Bringing you entertainment and informative sports talk during your workday.
Smart, funny, classy, and I like him a lot.
This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase with Chase McCabe, Willy Donick,
Mason, touchdown, Tennessee,
and former NFL wide receiver Derek Mason on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, and on the Game Nashville app.
This is a new level of geek you got going on here.
Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 1 o'clock hour here on a Thursday, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Usually we chat with him on Fridays at 1, but with the Preds scheduled tomorrow, things are a little different. So we say hello to TSU head football coach and Titans legend Eddie George. EG, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How y'all doing today?
We're doing fantastic. Good to see you on Monday for the Eddie George Show. And I know you've had a little time to think about things and the game against Lane. I mean, Derek, I was there. It was a fun atmosphere at Hale Stadium, as it was the John Merritt Classic. But, you know, there's no other way to put it, Eddie. It was a heartbreaker. That's what it was. Your guys fought. They competed. Saw a lot of compete down the stretch, staying in that game. You get it to overtime, get it to that point. You score, and then they score, go for 2, ultimately win the game. It was a little bit of a crazy ending. But how do you take a situation like that where you're in it, you're fighting, you're competing, and use that as a learning moment, even though you didn't win the game?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you always find those learning moments and losses. And, I've been saying this for the last 4 weeks is that we're getting closer to who we want to be. 1 week it was the offense that carried us. The next week it was the defense. The next week against MTSU, we got our behinds kicked, and there was nobody. And we kind of learned about us and who they were. Last week we were out with 10 total starters. 2 of our top receivers are out. Our starting quarterback and running back were out. Both of our safeties. So we had some young guys playing. And our quarterback was a first-time starting quarterback in Shale, and Ed, also Ed. I told them, I said, listen, we opened up the game on the first offensive play with a fumble scoop score. Then we answered back, we scored a touchdown. We were up 10-6 going to halftime and throw a pick six. We were supposed to go into the halftime up, but we instead were behind, come out opening drive, score. And we find a way in situations to put ourselves in position to win. We do a great job in 4 minutes, get the ball back for our defense. Had 2 blocks and a block punt. And, going to overtime, we win it. So I say all that to say we did some really good things. And our offense was pretty much one-dimensional, and we played with one arm tied behind our back because our quarterback wasn't there. We couldn't really throw the ball effectively. We had to rely on the run, and we outgained them by 131 yards rushing football. We had 200 yards rushing. We had our running back rush for over 100 yards, and that was a combination between our running back and our quarterback running the football. So I say all that to say there were a lot of positives to pull from it. We just didn't come away with the victory at the end. And that time is going to come. Our culture is still being created. The foundation is still being poured. The standard is still being defined and identified. And there's still a lot of self-sabotaging behavior on this football team. That's where we are. And that's what we have to deal with. We have to be men, look at that, address it, own it, deal with it, and grow from that to become a team versus a group of individuals. So those are the whole cold, hard facts, and that's something that I harped on all week long. That's something that we're dealing with. And once we become a team and really push ourselves and hold each other to a higher standard and become accountable to one another, we'll start to begin to see the fruits of our labor in the wins and loss columns. And that day is coming. We're just going to continue to press forward and persist without exception.
So you just said something that really sparked something with me, and that is, there's still self-sabotaging behavior, on our team. And I know that I look back at how I was at 18, 19 years old. I'm sure for you and Derek, when Derek was at Michigan State, you were at Ohio State, it's very different than it is now for 18, 19, 20-year-olds. How have you adjusted to that of kind of thinking back to your time in college, your early days in the NFL, how you were as a young person, and just realizing that personalities and the generation that we're in now is totally different, so you have to coach it different?
Yes, that's perfect. A perfect example is that I come cut from a different cloth than it was the years, than this. And these kids nowadays are a little bit more sensitive than most, and that's not a bad thing. It is what it is in terms of they're very sensitive to criticism, to being held to a higher standard, and you've got to be patient and have the grace to show them, to see the situation from a different lens and how it looks and the bigger picture. I mean, they've never been where I've been or our coaching staff has been. So all they see is right now, and it's the panic button on everything. Oh, my God, the sky's going to fall down. It'd be like, no, just we're good. But we got to really look at where we're at and what we've accomplished. We are a better team than we were a year ago. And it hasn't shown yet in the win-loss column, but this is where we're at. So, it's an everyday deal. It has, forced me to become more patient and gracious and more of a teacher, but also be willing to lay the big stick when I have to. And that's the thing that I'm learning to do in terms of how to guide this team in the direction that I need them to be in, and to embrace and create a standard of excellence and hold truth to that, instead of, wanting to do their own thing, and it shows its ugly head in critical moments in a ball game.
We're talking to TSU's head football coach, Eddie George. They're coming off a heartbreaking loss last week versus Lane College. Now, Coach, you explained all of this and where your team is at and the message you had to, or you consistently give to them. But just like any other thing, I can give the message, but if they don't receive it, then there's always going to be this disconnect. How is your program, the guys on your program, how are they receiving the message, especially after a heartbreaking loss?
Well, hopefully the lesson was learned by that heartbreaking loss. I think we kind of thought that we were better than what we were, but we're not. When you play Jackson State tough, you play Eastern Washington tough, and you have those moral victories, and you look at your schedule and say, hey, we should be taking down the team we should take. But no, that wasn't the case at all. That team came in here on a mission, and they believed they were going to, beat us, and they did. And, it's one of those deals, Derek, where you have to be patient and show them, and hopefully they get the wake-up call that, hey, I do know what I'm talking about. I could tell on a Tuesday practice, like, you know what? We are primed to get our behinds kicked. On Tuesday, I could see that. And guess what? It happened. So instead of feeling a sick feeling, maybe that's something that we needed to experience, let's approach this with a sense of urgency. Let's really take this serious if this is where we want to be. Because one thing I know for sure, I'm identifying who the assets are and who the liabilities are. Mm-hmm. And the assets will stay and will increase and continue to gain value, and the liabilities will be eliminated. And that's how I'm looking at it. Either you are on board or you're not. And if I can get more guys that are straddling the fence to come on board, the quicker and better it will be. Mm-hmm. But the more guys fight against it, and fight against each other, fight against the system, we're not efficient in that area energetically. And it takes a team to go out and win those type of ball games. And we're just not solidified right there on that front. So that's a part of the process of developing the program and growing and teaching these young men. That's where we're at.
Now, Coach, we talked about all of the things that needs to be fixed and the concerns that you and the coaching staff have moving forward. But what are some of the good things that are happening with your program? Because, this was a close game, and you spelled it out to us. You were missing a bunch of guys, but yet still the young guys stepped up and they played tough. So
yes.
And yes. Listen, they didn't get the win, but they came in and they played with the sense of urgency of, hey, listen, we got to win this game. So we see all the bad stuff, but what are some of the good things that these guys are doing for the program?
Wow. Well, I'm glad you said that. Jalen Rouse, our running back, had over 100 yards. We had two quarterbacks playing the game, put us in position to win the game or to go into overtime and win the game. Edwin came in, did a great job with his legs and made some key throws for us. Our kicker, Caleb Mosley, was perfect on the day and booted home a 51-yard field goal to send in the overtime with confidence. We had two block punts and two block field goal attempts and a block punt on the day to really set us up special teams wise. We lead the country and we lead the FCS, we're second in FCS in block kicks in the country. So we're able to hang our hat on that, and the fact that we were one-dimensional again and still outrush this team, 220 some odd yards was something that we could say, okay, our identity is still being formed, and being made and solidified. So we just have to stay the course, continue to bleed, continue to work, continue just to put our head down to the grindstone and work through the pain, work through the losses, because what's happening is you're becoming battle-tested. And when we get on the other side and experience victory, you've already experienced the stings of these losses. So now, in the back end of the season, when we're in that position, oh, you know what? We've been here before. No need to panic. We've been here. We know the situation. We know the opponent. We know the plan. Now we have to execute. You see what I'm saying? We've had that experience. So there's no greater teacher than experience. But you have to learn, again, and grow from it and identify it and be willing to have the courage to meet it head on and make a difference when we have a chance to do that.
Eddie George is with us. Eddie, before we let you go, I want to squeeze this in real quick. Derrick Henry had 99 yards rushing in the first half in the win over the Colts, 114 total. I saw just running over dudes. Why is that so important for somebody that plays your position to run angry, as silly as that may sound?
Now you got to run with violence, man. I mean, that's the position. And for Derrick, he's going to have to run like that for a while because they're going to load the box. He's going to have to make the first defender pay, break a lot of tackles, and run with a relentless spirit. And I think it's important because he is the focal point of that offense. You saw not just his game or his performance or production in just the run game, but also in the passing game as a receiver. So he's still the focal point of that offense. They go as he goes, and it's a spiritual thing as well. You know, everybody feeds off of that. They see Derrick out there fighting for every single yard. Guess what? The defense is going to do the same thing. Special teams picks up. You know, everybody around you, the blocking for the receivers, it picks up. When it's time for the receivers to make a play, they make their plays. So everybody feeds off of that energy. So when you're forced to do that as a back, you're the focal point, really the engine for the entire spirit of the team.
Yeah, and we'll see if we can see more of that this week against Washington. Eddie, best of luck against Bethune-Cookman. We'll hear that game on 102.5, the game this week, and we appreciate you doing this as always.
All right, man. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Yep. You too. Eddie George, TSU head football coach, Titans legend as well, usually joins us on Fridays at 1, and we usually do Ask D-Mase on Fridays at 12:30, but we're going to do that coming up next. You have to call this week. The text line's still down, having an issue with our service, but 615-737-1025. Call and ask D-Mase a question. You can also tweet us at 1025 the game as well, and we'll have a prize for you that you can potentially win, but you must participate. Ask D-Mase coming up next, 1025, 1063 the game.
The college football season never stops. ESPN college football analyst Trevor Manich joins Stillman and Company every Tuesday at 4:30.
They've got to do what Nick Saban in Alabama has done so successfully over the last 10 years.
Presented by Houston Clinic Orthopedics on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
How are ya?
From Brooklyn, New York, Andrew Dice Clay.
Jack and Jill went up the hill, both with $1.25. Jill came down with $2.50. Oh!
Coming January 29th to the Ryman. On sale this Friday at 10 a.m. Get your tickets online at Ryman.com and AXS.com. The Dice Man, live.
The Electronic Express famous half-price fair is back and better than ever. This week, save up to 50% on all your favorite brands. Don't miss out on these record low prices. Electronic Express has huge savings in every department. Computers, appliances, 4K TVs, smart home, furniture, mattresses, and more. Save up to 50% with up to 36 months free financing. Shop in-store or online at electronicexpress.com and get free express delivery on most items. Electronic Express. We make it happen.
This is a relationship, just like your relationship. Dating and getting married is awesome and fun, but having been married for 24 years, I can tell you it only gets better.
Meet Ward Herbert, manager at Genesis Diamonds, talking about the importance of having a long-term marriage with your spouse and your jeweler.
What's in the DNA here is relationship building. How can we be a part of your love story forever? It's your engagement ring, it's your wedding band, it's your anniversaries, it's gifts for your children, it's being a Genesis customer for life.
Genesis Diamonds, where it's never about making a sale, it's about making a hero.
The greatest joy I get is helping you find your perfect ring, helping you find your perfect diamond, and having you walk out with a huge smile on your face because you know she's going to love it and it's going to be something you can be proud of forever.
And Ward knows a thing or two about relationships. As a marriage counselor and an ordained minister, he can provide a little extra added value.
I did a wedding ceremony for one of our customers 2 months ago. He did not have a minister at the last minute, and I performed his wedding ceremony for him.
Genesis Diamonds, going above and beyond for every customer.
Now you may kiss the bride.
Green Hills and Cool Springs.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's... Nah, they're not that type of superhero. They're the betting heroes. BettingHero.com helps savvy and first-time bettors select the best sports betting site for your experience level and alerts you to the best promotions and deals. Visit BettingHero.com today and get thousands of dollars in free sports bets, including risk-free offers where everyone's a winner. They're not a sports book. BettingHero.com is your guide to sports books. Cape not included. BettingHero.com supports responsible gaming and encourages moderation and self-exclusion where prudent.
When joint pains cause you to sit out on everyday activities, it's time to make an appointment with Dr. Matthew Beal at Houston Clinic Orthopedics. Dr. Beal can diagnose your problem and treat the joint pain for both surgical and non-surgical matters. Board certified and fellowship trained, Dr. Beal specializes in hip, knee, joint replacement, and adult joint reconstruction. Visit tn.houston.com to learn more about Dr. Beal and to book an appointment online. Houston Clinic Orthopedics, when experience matters.
October is here, and you know what that means. Nashville's annual Oktoberfest this Thursday through Sunday at Bicentennial Mall in Germantown. Bring the whole family for a weekend of competitions, local artisans, vendors, live music, incredible food, and authentic German beer. Prost, y'all.
We want to hear from you.
Thanks for taking the call.
Join the conversation. Call or text at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. I'm ready to step this up a notch. You're listening to Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and on the Game Nashville app. D-Mase. He played 15 years in the NFL.
Quick throw. Touchdown, Derek Mason.
He had over 12,000 receiving yards.
Midfield, and there he goes. 80 yards for the touchdown.
And now you can ask him anything. Have a question about football or life? Now's your time to ask D-Mase.
We'll welcome you in.
Now on Chase, Willy, and
D-Mase.
On 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. It is Ask D-Mase time, 615-737-1025. You got a call today. Our text line not working. Or you can tweet at us at 102.5 The Game. But the best questions, and Nick Kieser behind the glass is going to be the man making the decisions. The best questions on the line. 3 potential winners today. Ooh. We have a couple of pairs of tickets for Smashing Pumpkins on Monday at Bridgestone Arena. And the suit has found a pair of tickets to opening night in Smashville next Thursday, October 13th, against the Dallas Stars. So you must participate. 615-737-1025 in Ask D-Mase.
Who doesn't want to go to, the opening night? Preds. Come on, it's going to be electrifying. Come on now. Preds, Dallas Stars.
It's going to be awesome.
Come on. The suits are going to be there too.
I will.
I'm going to be there.
I'll be signing autographs.
Absolutely. Suits going to be signing autographs. Say, hey, listen, y'all need to come out.
I'll sign some autographs, and maybe for some people, be like, hey, you want my phone number? Yeah, here you go.
As long as they don't put you in the friend zone, okay?
Yeah, they will.
Don't worry about it. I've gotten friend zone too lately.
Yeah,
so
it
it is
all right.
what it is, Chase.
I got my personal text line, which if you have that, I'm not going to give it to you on the radio, but if you have that, I guess you can text me.
Yeah.
Sturgill says, I want to know what product Derek uses to keep his beard looking so fresh. It does look good.
I shampoo. some type of conditioner, and I brush it and comb it, man. And I go to the barbershop every week to get it edged up. So that's the first thing, people ask, well, why do you go to the barbershop? You ain't got no hair. I said, I got facial hair. I got to get it edged up too.
Yeah, I mean,
brother got to look good, Chase.
I went the other day.
See, there you go.
Got edged up.
Yeah,
that's the big thing.
Gotta get that neck clean, man. Up under here, man.
Yeah,
gotta get the neck clean.
Thank you, Sturgill. Good question.
Appreciate it, Sturgill.
Let's go to our phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Tyler is first up on Ask D-Mase. Tyler, welcome in.
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, just a quick question. It seems like as of lately, we're highlighting different types of injuries across the league. I'm wondering, is it something that's always been there? I know it's kind of being pushed as of lately, but yeah, it seems to me like people that grew up around ball get banged up pretty frequently, and I think it's more or less there's more attention on the sidelines now, so we're seeing a lot more of it. I'm just curious if that's the outlook from inside the locker room.
In regards to, thank you, Tyler. In regards to
injuries, I guess he's saying, have they always been there, or are we just focused on them more?
I think I know they've always been there, but now what has happened over the last 15 years, each individual profession, whether it be football, basketball, baseball, hockey, I'm only talking team sports, they've slowly have given people this all access to what's going on. And not that these injuries didn't occur, but now we're just getting a behind the camera view of, okay, a guy turning his ankle, in a game. Now they're talking about it. As before, if a guy turned an ankle and went on the sideline, they really didn't. They were, he out a couple plays, and then they moved back to what's on the field. But now, because I think some of it has to do with betting, I'm sure, but they're giving you more of a behind-the-scenes look at these injuries that are happening, whether it be a high ankle sprain, a broken finger, turf toe, whether Traylon Burks is dealing with, or Jonathan Taylor. All of these injuries that were happening before that were sort of behind the scenes, now they are put out on full display for people to see them while the game's going on, because they are reporting them, because there's big money, not just in that's on the field. A lot of guys making a lot of money, but there's big money off the field with betting and everything. So they're giving you this all-access look at what's going on with teams now.
615-737-1025. My pal Jeremy from Blend Bar has incriminating evidence on me that might get him tickets to the game. Anyway, let's go to Tom, 615-737-1025. Tom, welcome in to Ask D-Mase.
Good afternoon. D-Mase, one silly question, one serious one. Silly question is, who's washing your car these days? Just saying. Building off of your last comment, if you could explain the relationship between all of the players and the head strength and conditioning coach and that coach's staff.
Okay. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. My man Alan is watching my cars. Alan Mobile, he's watching my cars. He's been watching my cars for 20-some years, 30 since I've been in the NFL.
Hang on. You have a guy. You have a guy. You have a car wash guy.
Yeah. I can't say don't everybody. I'm so sorry for saying that. That makes me seem sort of elitist, and I'm not that way, Chase. Anybody will tell you. But no, I've been knowing Alan since I was with the Titans, and he does tremendous job. He does a tremendous job at washing cars. Actually, he was just on my house yesterday washing the cars. Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? Day before yesterday, I think, Tuesday. So, yeah, he washed the cars. But the relationship between the strength and conditioning coach and the players, it's a critical relationship. It's a relationship that you must have. I think because it all coincides with, injuries and everything else. How do you condition? Because everybody doesn't work off the same template, And I've said this plenty of times. Like, what works for Chase doesn't work for me, or what works for me doesn't work for Chase. So the strength and conditioning coach, they got to know you as a person, know what you like, know what you need. Steve Waterson was great at it. Here with Tennessee, at whether it be supplements or knowing guys, body and knowing what they need and stretching and things that you need to do preventive, whether it be stretching or a certain type of weightlifting or whatnot. So that relationship between the player and the strength coach and their staff is critical. You must have a good relationship, I believe. At least I believe. Sure. Because he knows if he's been with you long enough and he's paid attention, or if you've, been open with the strength and conditioning coach, they know exactly what you may need at the beginning of the season, in the middle of the season, and toward the end of the season.
615-737-1025. Give us a call. Ask D-Mase on the line. Smashing Pumpkins, Preds opening night. We have not declared.
Preds, come on.
We have not declared any winners
as
of yet. We'll do another round of calls coming up next, but load them up. 615-737-1025. That's next. Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3. The Game.
This is Phil Tomasino, and this is Smashville.
Cousins put it in front of the score. Tomasino lofts it in. 2-0 Nashville.
This is the flagship of the Nashville Predators Radio Network. ESPN 102.5, The Game.
There's never a good time for your furnace to go out, especially in the winter. But it's always a good time to call Lee Company. Our heating and air conditioning pros are available 24/7. No heat? Don't wait. Call Lee Company now at 615-567-1000. Our expert technicians will diagnose the issue and fix it right the first time. When you're cold, you need someone you can count on to bring the heat. Call Lee Company now at 615-567-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
About 80% of new home buyers don't shop around for the best mortgage loan. That's a mistake. Hey, Willy Donick here for my friends at Loan Pronto. Not all mortgages are created equal. People who use Loan Pronto, on average, save $3,500 in closing costs. They get a better rate, which saves them thousands more every year. Your banker or agent's go-to lenders are fine people, but don't assume they're giving you the best deal. Call Loan Pronto for a quick second opinion or go to loanpronto.com. I'll bet you they can get you a better loan, lower rate, without all those annoying closing costs. And when rates drop, Loan Pronto will refinance you for free. No closing costs. Call to get pre-approved in minutes. They can even hook you up with a high-performing real estate agent if you need one. So call Loan Pronto, 615-499-5780. Or go to loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans apply.
Hey everybody, Big Joe here for Apple Collision Centers. And I'm always on the go, but the distraction that an automobile accident causes could even slow my pace down to a stop. But my friend and CEO of Apple Collision Centers, Stan Harrison, has a plan to get you and I back on the road and fast.
We at Apple Collision Centers know you deserve the best quality service. We always recommend original equipment parts, and we use only the best Sherwin-Williams finishes. 3 convenient locations, Hendersonville, Gallatin, and Oak Hickory. And you can always visit us online for your estimate needs at applecollisioncenters.com.
Hey guys, Jeremy here, General Manager at Blend Bar with Davidoff Cigars. We are the go-to spot in Nashville for the best old-fashioned, a nice relaxing cigar, and lots of high-end spirits and wine. Are cigars not your thing? No problem. We have the best ventilation system in the industry that provides a fresh, clean atmosphere for you and your friends. We are here to provide you a trendy, upscale experience in the heart of downtown. Check us out at 508 Church Street. Blend Bar with Davidoff Cigars. Luxury redefined.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Jonathan Hutton.
You have to put the ball in his hands in that moment.
And Chad Withrow.
My kicker's making no decisions on a football team.
Are in the game. Join them for NFL postgame after every Titans home game, live from Landshark Bar and Grill in Margaritaville on Broadway. They'll break down that day's game and look ahead to the next one. NFL postgame is presented by Two Rivers Ford, Renter's Warehouse, and Superbook Sports on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, Nashville, it's Mike Greenberg, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
D-Mase. He played 15 years in the NFL.
Quick throw. Touchdown, Derek Mason.
He had over 12,000 receiving yards.
Midfield, and there he goes. 80 yards for the touchdown.
And now you can ask him anything. Have a question about football or life? Now's your time to ask D-Mase.
We'll welcome you in.
Now on Chase, Willy, and
D-Mase.
On 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Chase, Willy, D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chase McCabe, Derek Mason with you. Nick Keyser, intern Connor behind the glass. 615-737-1025. Now, I did learn that we named Nick the commissioner of this. He has awarded Predators opening night tickets to Tom for his question. It was Tom, right? Okay. Yes. You have a mic. You can say, yes, it was Tom.
Yes, I know I have a microphone, Chase McCabe. Chase
bow
McCabe.
Down in the suit.
I don't bow down to nothing.
It's the suit. You address him as the suit.
Hey, in the words of Billy Joel, don't take any bleep from anybody.
That's Mike Vrabel.
No, that's don't do dumb bleep to hurt the team.
Yeah.
Same thing.
No.
No, they're actually very different. Shut up, rookie. Anyway, we have awarded the I'm kidding, folks. I'm really not meaning it.
He's not.
615-737-1025. We've awarded the opening night tickets to the Predators, but 2 pairs of tickets to see Smashing Pumpkins Monday at Bridgestone Arena. Still on the line, but you must participate. Let's go to Chris. Chris on line 1. Welcome in to Ask D-Mase.
D-Mase, how's it going today, sir?
Hey, it's going well.
Good, good. Hey, so I want to get your thoughts around, with the injuries that we've seen over the last few weeks, and everything so much under the microscope, with the advancement of medicine and technology. All the players are looking for that guaranteed income, that guaranteed contract. Do you think that we could possibly get to a point where we're incentivizing early retirement based off the 2 factors? There's been talk about Tua, his next steps. Just wanted to get your thoughts about that.
Thank you for the call, Chris. The NFL would never incentivize early retirement. They won't. They don't even, there's not even anything promoting, early retirement or retirement. You retire before this happened or that happens. That's just not what the NFL does. But Chris, I think more players, and I think I spoke on this yesterday, Chase, or the day before yesterday, when the Tua thing came up and his, it was swirling. People think he may retire. I think we talked about it yesterday because the doctor was saying, hey, he needs to retire. I think what's happening now, Chris, is that because of the money that is being made by these men now in this sport, they don't have to play as long to earn the money that would take care of them and their kids and their grandkids or whatnot. Nowadays, these men are making, more in 1 year than what some people made in a whole contract. So that's more of the incentive is let me play well early. Why do you think these men are now? They're not. Back in the day, it was, okay, you got to wait until your rookie contract was over before we sign you to a new deal. Not anymore. These young men are figuring out, like, listen, if I put up 2 really good seasons, I shouldn't have to wait that 3rd or 4th year to get a contract because something might happen. I need to get my money early. So if I do play out a 5 or 6 year deal or let's say a 4-year deal, I'm still young enough that I can retire, but I got enough money to retire and be great for the rest of my life. That's the incentive, that they're paying people more. And you have seen guys retire early, guys that get in their 5th or 6th year or 7th year and they say, you know what, I'm done. I'm not going to do this anymore. I've made enough money. I'm good. I can go do go do something else. So I think that's the incentive now. The more money these guys are making, they don't feel they have to play, 15, 20 years. I mean, Tom is just an anomaly. He's different, and that position is different. Tom can play 20 years because of the way they protect quarterbacks now.
They get to the second contract is the one that everybody wants because that's the guaranteed money.
And that's why they're trying to get to it earlier. Yeah. They're not trying to wait till that first contract plays out. It's like, give me my money now because I don't know what's going to happen in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, and look, I don't have any problem with that.
Me either.
I mean, if a guy – and I do wonder if in the next CBA, if the players try to, negotiate these entry-level contracts basically that they're on from for a first-round pick, it's a 4-year contract with a 5th-year option. What if it becomes a 3-year contract with a 4? Because you look at the NHL, those are all 3 years typically.
Yeah, because these guys are playing earlier now. The 4-year and 5th-year options, you get your 4-year deal and then your 5th-year option. Okay, that's cool. 5 years ago when 10 years ago when a guy didn't play his first year, but he played his second year, so he had to build up to that. Now, these quarterbacks are playing early. These receivers are playing early. If you're good, they're going to get you on the field as early as possible.
All right, let's go to Tim, who's up now, 615-737-1025. Tim, welcome in.
Hey, all right. Hey, Derek.
Hey, what's going on, Tim?
We talked a couple times. I told you before you coached my kids when you and Blaine were doing y'all's football camp. But there's something I've always wanted to ask you because it broke my heart when you went and when you had to go to Baltimore. But I mean, I know you're a good professional. I just kind of want to hear a player's perspective on how team change is, and that's really all I got.
All right, thank you, Tim.
Good question. Thanks, Tim.
That was a hard moment, professional moment for me. But it was a lesson learned. When you talk about back then when it was like, hey, football is a business. Yes, you as a young player, you're thinking, yeah, but it's like you're going out there and you're giving it everything that you have, and whatever the coaches are asking you to do, you're doing it. You're doing extra to make sure you're doing your job so the team can be better. You're putting in all this work. You're not thinking about the business aspect. You're just thinking about, man, I'm loyal to this team, and I'm sure the team is loyal to me. Well, after 8 years, it hit me. Well, it hit me before that because I saw other guys being released. Like, wow, they got released. Eddie George get released. Randall Godfrey gets released. I mean, goodness gracious. Like, these are guys like were a part of what we have accomplished.
That's when you learn the NFL stands for not for long.
Yeah, that's exactly. And they learn like, yeah, it's a business. And loyalty is as far as you can throw a 300-pounder. That's how far loyalty is, or how long loyalty is. So it was a hard lesson for me to learn in 2004. But you know, I had to go out and get another team and continue my career. Did I want to stay here? Absolutely, I wanted to stay here. Did they ever offer me an opportunity to take a pay cut? At that time, at that particular time, I probably would have redid my deal and took a little less just to stay here, because my thing was I can make that money up.
Sure.
It would have been made up. I just wanted to stay here. But they had other plans, and I get that. And I wasn't bitter. You know, I was upset.
Were you?
No. I wasn't bitter to the point of like I was always bringing up the Titans or was always upset with the Titans. It was I'm upset that I had to leave. You know, I'm disappointed. But I got to keep going. I got to keep playing. This is what I do. I enjoy doing it. I still got a lot of great years left. You know, I need to go to my next team and prove to the Titans they shouldn't have released me, and prove to my team that just signed me that this was a good sign. And I did both. And I was happy, you know. But then I wanted to come back, and they didn't want me. So there you go.
Yeah, well, I think they wanted you. They just had an idiot at GM at the time.
Yeah, so
couldn't figure things out. So great participation in Ask D-Mase today. Coming up next, we will close out the show how we started it, talking about this clock management situation with Ryan Tannehill. It was talked about today at the press conferences. We'll do that and get you set for Stillman and Company. That's all next. Chase, Willy, and D-Mase, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Silly Underdog Picks is back. Get your friends and sign up today at thegamenashville.com. Pick the 3 football underdog teams each week you think will win for a chance to win weekly prizes. Like a pair of tickets to a sporting event or to a concert in Nashville. Go to thegamenashville.com or the Game Nashville app and sign up and play now. Then tune in every Thursday at noon for our expert picks. Silly Underdogs is presented by Volunteer Hose and Gasket.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus. Forecast today being the warmest of this entire week. A high of 85 degrees later on today. Low humidity, tons of sunshine, still no rain, but frost possible Saturday night into Sunday morning.
Brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Now is a fantastic time to sell in Nashville, but you can't do it without the intel. And no one has better intel than the Gary Ashton team. You may be wondering, what is this intel I keep hearing about? Intel so you can sell your home without any staging or showings. Intel on where to find your next home so you can sell your current one while the market's hot. Intel that helps you win the buyer battle and cash in on your home equity now. Everyone else is getting the same information and competing for the same properties. GaryAshton.com gives you the edge with the best real estate intel in Nashville. No one else even comes close. Plus, the Gary Ashton team is the official real estate agent for the Preds. Get the confidence to sell your home and find your dream address without the stress. Call the Gary Ashton team with RE/MAX Advantage today at 615-301-1650 or visit GaryAshton.com. And remember, don't sell without the intel.
Golfers, now in Edwin Watts Golf Shops, it's time to hit faster, longer, and straighter with Titleist. The new TSR drivers are designed to maximize distance and elevate your performance. Titleist TSR driver, pushing for perfection every day. Come into Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the new Titleist TSR drivers and get custom fit for free today. Can't make it in store? Visit us online at worldwidegolfshops.com. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee and family owned and operated since 1968.
Hey, it's Hutton. Interest rates are rising, but not at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Replace your old unit fast before new regulations increase prices up to 20%. Get a new unit today at today's price and receive up to $1,500 off, or get 18 months of no payments, so the first payment is not until spring of 2024. At Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, all new systems come with a 10-year parts and labor warranty. Schedule your appointment now at springhillac.com. That's springhillac.com.
Are you looking for Tennessee-grown and crafted THC, CBD, Delta 8, Delta 9 products? Then float on over to ounceofhope.com. On top of the widest selection of luxury edibles and smokables, their customer service team is high quality and prepared to help select the right cannabis product for your needs. Their knowledgeable team will have you flying high with a smile. That's ounceofhope.com, made locally in Memphis. Ounce of Hope is Memphis Flyers' best cannabis shop 2 years in a row. Legal THC delivered to your door. ounceofhope.com.
Houston Clinic Orthopedics wants to thank their patients for voting them the #1 orthopedic practice in the Nashville Scene Poll for 3 years in a row. Their physicians specialize in spine, joint replacement, knee, hip, upper extremity, and other orthopedic conditions. At Houston Clinic Orthopedics, they adhere to all CDC guidelines for the patient's and staff safety. To experience world-class orthopedic care and see a list of all physicians, visit their website at tn.houston.com and book your appointment online today.
Robbie Stanley.
To avoid non-contact injuries and not repeat last year.
Joe Rexrode.
Just wait until next year's national TV schedule comes out.
Robbie and Rexrode. Mornings from 6 to 10 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app. This is Chase, Willy, and D-Mase on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
You said you didn't really know what happened at the end of the first half there with the clock stuff in your comments after the game. After looking at it, what happened there and why is the clock management stuff been a little bit more suspect this year than it's been historically with you at quarterback?
I mean, I wouldn't say that that's the case. Maybe that's your opinion, but we had that situation there. Possibility to, for tackle short of the sticks, run the field goal unit on and be able to kick the field goal with the running clock. We had enough time on the clock that we say we have enough time to get that off. Obviously, we'd like to get the first down and be able to spike it and stop the clock there, but weren't able to execute.
Titans quarterback Ryan Tannehill on clock management, something that we've talked about a lot today, and I know that Stillman and Company will continue that conversation coming up in about 10 minutes on their show. A reminder, tomorrow it will be Jared and Derek from 10 until noon, and then we'll have Predators pregame with Max Hers starting at noon as the Predators are in Prague to take on the San Jose Sharks. So you and I have kind of talked all this out, and I like a little bit of the sassiness that Tannehill has. I think that he probably, instead of running for it at the end of the first half, just get rid of the ball, come out, kick the field goal, go into the locker room. They didn't do that. But you've also kind of shifted your view that Vrabel, a lot of this is on him.
Yeah, because to me, it's why didn't you just take the 3 points? Because the third down play wasn't a play to get the ball into the end zone. So do you not believe in your kicker that he can kick whatever it was? I guess it would end up being like a 50-something yard field goal, mid-50s. So you figured you needed that one more yard to set your kicker up to kick the field goal. I don't know, but to me, you put your quarterback in a position that he was in, even though, you tell the quarterback, hey, listen, throw the ball away, whatever you do, don't get tackled, or don't take a sack, don't get tackled in the field of play. But you as a head coach, you got to think, I'm not going to even we're always taught, we're going to put the players in the best position to succeed. Well, you didn't put your team in the best position to succeed because with no timeouts and 19 seconds left, you didn't call a play down the field. You didn't call a play to the end zone. To me, that's the only way you go because even if you complete the ball, Tannehill takes his drop. He scrambles around for about 2 seconds, 3 seconds. You throw the ball 10 yards down the field. The guy catches it. He's not going to catch it and then go down. He's going to try to run out of bounds or do whatever. They're playing for that. They're going to tackle him in space, sit on him for a while. Then I got to get everybody up and everybody off. You still might not even get that play off. You still might not even get it off, So why even take that chance? Just kick the field goal from where it's at and get the 3 points. You're going 27-10, and okay. At least we got some points out of it. But you didn't do that. You were playing, and I get it, because as a player, I'm on the field. I'm like, yes, let's go. Let's do it. Let's get the ball down the field. But as a coach, that's when you got to sit back and think like, maybe not. Let's just kick this field goal and go in.
Right.
But now all the blame is shifted toward Ryan Tannehill, and it shouldn't be. It starts with the head coach.
Well, and I think some of that is just because he's an easy target. Because one, he's a starting quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So, and two, everything goes back to Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
Everything goes back to that game. This year, through 4 games, I think he's been fine. He's made a couple mistakes here and there, but I don't think he's done anything for them to lose the 2 games that they lost.
No, it wasn't his fault.
No. I mean, I think he's been all right.
He's done enough for you to win these football games that you won. Even in the losses, he's in that Giants game, he did enough for you to win that game. Buffalo game was different, but he hasn't went out there and played horribly where you say, well, you cost us that Buffalo game. You cost us the Giants game. No, that hadn't been the case. He hadn't cost them any game, So the blame will always, in situations like that, it will always be shifted toward Ryan because of his past.
Of course. Of course.
So, but it should be, the problem or the blame should be shifted toward the head coach and not the guy that got tackled in bounds trying to get a first down. They should have just kicked the field goal and went in at halftime up 27-10.
There's always a voice in my head
Yeah.
that's listening to this conversation right now.
Uh-huh.
So Jared believes that Tannehill was absolutely terrible in the second half on Sunday. Jared, your thoughts?
I mean, he threw for 34 yards and he missed wide receivers consistently open down the field. Vrabel even said it on Monday in this very melancholy tone of, Ryan, he was asked a question about Tannehill not turning the ball over. Or no. He was asked a question about Tannehill being 4-0 at Indianapolis. And in this melancholy sense, he was like, well, we won the rushing battle and we didn't turn the ball over. And, we had some throws that we could have made in the second half. And so we'll get with Ryan on those and go from there. And but, yeah, we didn't turn the ball over. And Tannehill was, in my opinion, he missed open receiver. He was awful. He was awful in the second half.
I mean, I'll give you that. He did miss some open guys.
Yeah, but that's football. You're going to miss open guys. What we see from an aerial view and what the quarterback see the day after from an aerial view is totally different from what he sees at ground level on game day. There's plenty of guys that Tom
You're only
has
saying that
missed.
because Jeff Fisher made you throw in practice one day.
Yeah, but no, but I know how it is. When I'm running an in route and I think I'm open, and the quarterback comes back and he's like, "My bad, I ain't see you."
Right.
Because he's looking somewhere else first, and then he might get to me. So we gotta look at it from this standpoint. We can all go back and watch the film and say, you missed this guy, you missed this guy. Just like on that drive, I thought he missed the corner route that was wide open and he should have threw it, but he had pressure in his face. So there's other variables involved when missing a open receiver.
Yeah.
Maybe that guy wasn't the first or the second in the progression.
Well, we will let Jared and Adam Vingan, who's in today, continue this conversation. Coming up next is Stillman and Company will take over. That'll do it for us. Jared and Derek are back at it at 10 tomorrow, heading into Preds and Sharks from Prague. But enjoy Stillman and Company. Coming up next, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
We out.
Watch the game.
He scores! Philip Forsberg!
We talk the game.
Philip Forsberg stays here in Nashville, hearing the deal is done. 8 years, close to $70 million total.
We are the game. Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
What's up, everybody? It's me, Michelle Knezvik, and I'll be at Broadway Brewhouse, 317 Broadway downtown, Saturday for the SEC